Call the meeting to order. City of Laredo regular council meeting, council chambers, Laredo, Texas, March the 3rd, 2025. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor. Honorable Mayor Dr. Victor D. Trevino,
Present.
Councilmember District 1 Gilbert Gonzalez, Councilmember District 2 Ricardo Rangel Jr.,
Here.
Councilmember District 3 Melissa Cigarroa, Councilmember District 4 Ricardo Rick Garza,
Here.
Councilmember District 5 Ruben Gutierrez Jr.,
Present.
Councilmember District 6 Dr. Tyler King, Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Perez, Councilmember District 8 Alisa Cigarroa. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll proceed with approval of the minutes, February 18, 2025.
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Before we go into citizens' comments, I'd like to go into communications, number 7, followed by number 1766A1. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Starting with communication presentation by Mayor, providing general comments on city matters, oncoming initiatives, and other relevant updates for the council and the public. And the reason I brought this up, I would like to share with the public that our water infrastructure and replacement projects are moving forward and on schedule. Town hall meetings are being scheduled to increase public engagement because this is the city's priority. I would also like to inform the public that Laredo does not have a boil water notice in place. There may be some misinformation and confusion out there. I have received several phone calls from concerned people and comments in the street. Just for some announcements, as part of the mayoral Bloomberg-Harvard initiative, additional slots were given. The first two that I have nominated have been Mr. Joseph Neb and Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Perez. They will be attending courses later on this year at the Kennedy School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Congratulations. Finally, I will be out on May the 5th to the 7th in New York to receive the Foreign Policy Medal from the Foreign Policy Association. I, along with the president of Juilliard, are being presented with this year. I have accepted the honor and look forward to representing Laredo in this fashion, in this manner. I will say that I have always believed in our city's prosperity and strength, whether it be international trade, border security, and or tourism. This is due to our binational relationship. And Mayor Pro Tem will conduct the meeting, the city council meeting on the 5th if I'm not available. That's my communication item.
Item number 2, Mayor, under communication.
Yes. Introduction of new bridge director Elsa Hinojosa.
Mayor and City Council, I am pleased to officially announce the appointment of Ms. Maria Elsa Hinojosa as the new Bridge System Director for the City of Laredo. Ms. Hinojosa brings with her over 16 years of operational and management experience within the City of Laredo. successfully overseeing complex departments, managing large teams, and implementing processes that drive efficiency and improve service delivery. She was selected after a rigorous and competitive selection process, standing out for her strong leadership in department operations, her deep institutional knowledge, and her clear commitment to public service. Throughout her career with the city, Ms. Hinojosa has excelled in leading high-performing teams, streamlining operational processes, and improving internal controls. She has served in key management roles, including Programs Administrator for the Community Development Department, Executive Director of Municipal Housing, Health and Benefits Manager, and Interim Director for both the Laredo Animal Care Services and Building Development Services. In each of these roles, Ms. Hinojosa managed budgets, developed new operational policies, and introduced process improvements that enhanced service delivery and regulatory compliance. Her ability to manage cross-departmental projects and ensure timely delivery of services has earned her a reputation as a results-driven and collaborative leader. Ms. Hinojosa holds a bachelor's degree in finance from Texas A&M International University. She is also a certified public manager and a proud graduate of the Laredo College Leadership Program. As Bridge System Director, Ms. Hinojosa will lead one of the city's most critical operational departments, overseeing the day-to-day management of the International Bridge System and over almost 200 employees, ensuring operational efficiency and advancing long-term strategies to enhance trade, improve traffic flow, and strengthen financial cooperation. Mr. Mayor, Dr. Trevino and Laredo City Council, if I could, I would like Ms. Hinojosa to at least share a few words about her vision and what she is hoping to accomplish as she takes this role.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, Management, and the public. Thank you for having me here. I won't take that long if I have 3 minutes. I'm honored to stand before you today as we continue strengthening Laredo's position as the nation's premier inland port. The efficiency of our bridge system is vital not only to our city, but to the entire trade industry that depends on seamless cross-border movement. As part of our commitment to continuous improvement, I have initiated a comprehensive evaluation of our bridge system's organizational structure to ensure that every role is aligned with our long-term vision. This assessment will allow us to optimize operations, enhance efficiency, and ensure we remain the preferred port of entry for international trade. A key recommendation from this evaluation is the creation of a trade advisor position. This role will serve as a dedicated liaison between our bridge operations, trade stakeholders, and city leadership. By improving real-time engagement with trade users, we can make informed decisions, enhance service delivery, and maintain strong relationships with the businesses that rely on our ports. And this, of course, I wouldn't be able to do it with our partner, with some of the departments that we have, with the Port of Entry Manager as well, Economic Development. We have our CBB department, airport, and of course, any other departments that we have to deal with. And I will also be waiting for their support, also for mayor, council, management to work with you all together on any items that we bring. On any, I know we're working on trade, some expansions right now for bridge, and your support will be really appreciated. Also, this initiative is not just about adding positions, it's about strategic alignment to ensure that our bridge system is positioned for a long-term success. By integrating this role in coordination with our new marketing department and the Laredo Port of Entry Advisory Committee, we will build a stronger, more responsive bridge system that reflects both industry needs and the city's priorities. Moving forward, we will take a phased approach, beginning with stakeholder engagement, followed by a pilot implementation, and ultimately full integration of this role with the bridge operations. This will ensure that our decisions are data-driven, financially responsible, and aligned with the broader goals of the city. Laredo is already a leader in trade. My goal is to ensure that we stay ahead of the curve, adapting to industry needs, improving efficiency, and reinforcing our standing as the most effective and sought-after port of entry. Thank you again for your time. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. It hasn't been easy. It's been going on 17 years, but I never gave up, and I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm here to work with you all.
Thank you. All right, congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Next item requested is 66A1. Requested by Mayor, discussion with possible action on improving efficiency and review and approval of city grant submission process and any matters related to. Now, the reason that was brought up and was brought forward is that we have to set process in the submission of grants, especially when we're in collaboration with other governmental and non-governmental entities. This is important to improve transparency, efficiency, and especially where there is a material change in the purpose, scope, and/or obligations of the grant. So my initial motion is to address this and would have to be management to come back with some written best practices or policies or procedures to be reviewed by council. This is my motion.
Second that motion.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Neb, I was wondering if you could maybe clarify some of the processes that already exist and see if there's, I guess, more clarity in what types of procedures and policies will be developed? Because I know that some do exist, and if you have just a broad outline of what that is.
Yeah, and Mayor and City Council, I can talk briefly about all of it to a certain level. I don't have anything prepared because I wanted to hear exactly where the mayor was at with what he was trying to accomplish. But I will tell you that a lot of the stuff that we have talked about over the past 2 years, we want to make sure that whatever goes into the grants, we want to make sure that whatever is occurring with the city's support within that, whether it be our grant that we are writing ourselves or if we're partnering on a grant as well too. We want to make sure that we recognize, and I think this is what we went through the conversation with the bond referendum, we went through the conversation with our budgets. We want to know the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. One of the things that we are making sure that within our current grant structure right now is that there's an in-kind match that generally will happen with most of our grant services and everything. There's a value to that in-kind service. So if it's going to take any type of time from the city, so what the our grant division is doing right now is that when we look at these grants, we want to make sure that we've allocated the proper funding for that. If we're not already doing the work, even though it can be a park responsibility or a public works responsibility, we want to make sure that there is at least a conversation because we have to absorb whatever that in-kind service is for that. And so a lot of the grants have an 80-20 match, and so I think with what we're talking about with everything is that any grant that we put out there, we want to make sure that we've looked at the repercussions of our conversation with our support. And again, as you know, everything, and this is why we're having all the conversation about financial and the budgets and the bond referendums and everything, is that we want to make sure that the limited money that we do have is committed to the right things, the highest priority issues. And so within the grant system, we want to make sure that we go after the grants, not just because they're available, but because they mean something, that we're going to be able to improve the lives of something.
And just to clarify about that match requirement, city services or any city work that's done, that all has a value, and that value oftentimes count to the match.
Thank you.
Yes. When we're looking for funds to
Yes.
go after other funds.
Yes, and thank you for that, because that is true. A lot of the grants that we can recognize the in-kind service as part of that local match, and for a lot of different ones. There's a lot of different ways to meet the local match, and so that's the responsibility that we have with that. But I think the one thing that we want to make sure that happens is that when the grant application gets to your table to determine if it makes sense within the vision of the city, that all the relevant information has been assigned and has been determined. I think in the past, we've had some grants that have come through there that because it's only just a grant request, we may not have worked out all the different bugs within the system and everything. So we want to make sure that we understand what the implications are, because it is very difficult when we are successful with grants to ever say we're not going to do whatever the project is, because that hurts our reputation, that hurts our process. So
We would not be denying a grant application, because otherwise then we would be responsible for returning that money.
we would have to return the money if we were to receive a grant and not follow through it properly. I think that's the process where we're at. But based upon my understanding of the reasons why this was on there, I just wanted to hear from everybody where that's going. And I will state, Mayor and City Council, that you give me 30 days, we'll bring you back something that matches up. But any of the other input that you have, each of you have, will be able to help us develop that out a little bit farther. But I will say that we have already been started adjusting the preparation of these grant documents based upon what we understand some of the concerns were, because it is all about giving a full product to the council for consideration, so you understand all of the pieces that we've committed to.
Yes, go ahead.
I think it would be helpful in terms of the grant process for us as council, from the time that we agree to, go out for a grant on something, from that time to the time that we're actually submitting all the statements of facts and everything, that we actually have oversight in that process. Because I could say, for one, legal needs to review the applications before they go in, but at the same time, council needs to get them in our Friday packets so we can review what is going to get submitted, so we can be on the same page. I think any statement of fact in the grant has to be supported by either a resolution or some minutes at a meeting that were actually stated, those exact statements of facts that are being included in the grant. And then any, for example, binational claim that it's a binational project should have some kind of international component in there to solidify that we are both on the same page in both countries. And there's some facts that have kind of, in some of the grants where we don't want to get in a situation where we accept a grant based on certain terms, then we get an audit and we misrepresented, or certain things were not 100% accurate, and then now we have to pay that money back. So I think this is a good idea for you, Mayor, to bring this forward, so that we could just have greater oversight in the entire process, because it's happened before.
All right,
Mayor, I have one last question.
go ahead.
Mr. Knapp, I'm sorry, there's maybe a little bit of confusion. Is there a grant that we have not met all the requirements for, or somehow we're out of alignment for any of the funds that we've received?
I think none that I'm aware of. I mean, I think we've successfully closed any of the grants there, but I do know that we had some questions on a grant. I think the one that Mayor Pro Tem has mentioned just very briefly. We had one that was confusing to the council as to the language that was in the document. And I think that's the idea, is that we're trying to make sure that it is all clean and proper when it comes to you. And everybody understands that, because I think the challenge for me when we're talking about some of these grants, and some of the most recent ones as well too, if we're not currently doing that within our department structure, then that is something that we have to add to that. Even though it's an in-kind match and everything, I may have to hire people to do that portion of that. And so I liken it to the COPS grant for the police department. The COPS grant, actually, they provide you essentially full funding 1 year, and it's a 3-year ordeal for hiring these underneath the COPS grant, and it's a trickle down. So we essentially, over 3 years, we get to absorb these officers, which makes them more sustainable within the process, where we're not triggering our budget in that way. But in my mind, based upon, just really quickly on your question, is that there's none that I can say definitively that was incorrectly done, but I do know there were questions on some from last year.
Right, but those grants in particular went through departments and went through a review process, and
We can see exactly,
Yes.
at least with the review that does happen with all of these, as we try to recreate the history, is to make sure that they have been correctly and meet all those conditions. And I
don't want
think we
anybody
can find
to think
but
that we were improper in any of the monies that we were spent. Everything went through the proper channels.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
I just think that this is a good item for clarifying the process, because there are oversight components that we as council are not involved in. From the time that before the grant is submitted, we're getting, after the fact, where we're having to approve something and we didn't see what was submitted. So I think tying up that grant, that part of the process where we're getting to see the grants before they're submitted, so we can verify that the information is correct, as part of our oversight. I think it's good for us to have more eyes on the process, because right now, we see it in the beginning and we see it at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be able to deliver you something, Mayor, that matches up to this, and I think it'll be a good conversation as we move forward.
There is a motion, it's been second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Mayor, I'd like to motion to accept all the appointments to the commissions, boards, and committees, number 1, number 2, and number 3 on the regular agenda, number 1 on the supplemental agenda, and tabling number 2, mine.
Second,
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to, bring up, the consent agenda number 7, item number 30. I think, we have a municipal clerk,
Motion
for
passed.
judge. We're good?
Is it the same item? Is it-
Always in the comments?
We have comments.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Public comments. All right, let's go, did we pass a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We didn't pass that motion. The first one, before.
Motion open citizen comments, Mayor.
All right. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Citizens' comments. Edgar Villaseñor.
Awesome. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members.
Excuse me, your name for the record, please.
My name is Edgar Villaseñor. So this is my first time speaking up here, but I'll make it quick. So my name is Edgar Villaseñor, and I live in the south side. I live close to the river. I'm just concerned about losing access to the river. Sometimes I have community events out there, you know, small little kayaking events. It is a place where I go jogging in the morning. I go there for clarity, peace, and nature. Like, it's really like, you know, south side, the more southern you go, there is like, you know, less things to do. So that's one of the green spaces that I like to go and enjoy. A border wall wouldn't just cut us off like physically. It would also like sever a deep cultural and emotional bond that generations of Laredoans have cherished. So I just wanted to mention that the river is pretty cool, and it's part of what makes Laredo special. So, you know, every now and then we go and see those beautiful cardinals in the trees and kingfishers and so much beauty that we have access to freely, you know, by Santa Rita, all those areas. So, yeah, a wall would destroy their home and our access to that, and that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Rafael Torres.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I just wanted to come up here and inform you about a big volunteer crew that has been working very hard since late January and all February to provide free tax assistance to the residents of Laredo. We've been working on 11 sites throughout the community. It's a program that is work with the Internal Revenue Service and the Laredo Family Economic Success Coalition. We've been working with them. The main library and Martin High School have been at it before the coalition came into existence. I've been with the coalition since 2009, so we've been at it for about 15 years. It's a procedure where volunteers from the community take a training course with the IRS. They get certified at different levels, basic, advanced, military, and are able to provide free tax preparation, e-filing with the IRS. I just wanted to inform you and your constituents that we still have 45 days to go before the filing date, and wanted to inform the community that we're ready to serve. We have 10 sites. Our most popular site is the main public library. We're there from 9 to 1 every Saturday, and it's first come, first served. Last year in '24, we did almost 5,000 returns, and we brought into the community with 200 volunteers, $6.8 million in refunds, and saved taxpayers about 1.2 million in tax preparation fees. So hopefully, the members of the community can go on the website, vitalaredo.org. You can make the appointment on the website, or you can call us and we will make the appointment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Before we continue, would you allow Mr. Neb to give a presentation on exactly what this wall issue is coming about? Because I'm assuming most of the comments that I'm reading are for an item on the agenda. But just so you can clarify what it's actually about, it's not a wall all across the entire city. I don't know what's been put out there, but just to clarify to the public here, because I don't want them wasting their time sitting here when it's not something actual that's gonna happen. Just a clarification, whether if you can allow it, please.
Yes.
Happy to do
Go
so.
ahead, Mr.
And,
Neb.
Mayor and City Council, I believe that, as the conversation comes up on the border wall, this is a conversation on item 34 on the agenda. This is a,
Point of order, of motion to bring that item up.
Second.
All right, let's bring the item up. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
okay.
All right.
And there's a few things that have to go into this conversation, but item number 34 is a request from the state of Texas for two parcels up near the Columbia Bridge that are city-owned, where they are installing a barrier wall up near the Columbia Bridge on private property, and then our property is within that area. As with any easements, they have the they have the ability to request the easement. The council is the ones that have to make the determination for that. That's why this item is on the agenda now, and this is why we're discussing that. One of the recommendations I do have for you, which I know that is difficult, is that easements are a negotiated agreement, essentially. And so there is part of this conversation we cannot have out in a public meeting without having the conversation in the back as to, one, whether we're willing to negotiate, two, whether or not, what the terms are to negotiate. There's a lot of different conversations that are happening with this, but I really want to make sure that we have council position on this before we start trying to help set any kind of structure within this thing. So, but in my mind, the reason for this is that we have two parcels of property. They are essentially abutted up to private property. The private property has already agreed to do work with the state of Texas, and so in order to complete that, there are two properties up near the Columbia Bridge area that the request from the state of Texas is to allow for a barrier wall on those two parcels.
Mayor, may I be heard?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Mr. Neves, do we have a time frame for this to answer back? Or can we go?
We do. The conversation that we've had with the state on this thing, though, is that because they are ready to go on the private property side, it is a 5-month window to complete the work that they are currently doing. There is time, and the conversation that we've had with the state is that I need to come and speak with the council first before we kind of come to whatever decision that we're going to get in there. So that conversation, again, it is based upon essentially the easement negotiations is what it is. And so with that, but that is what this item is. It is not about that. I think our stance has been, and I did send a letter to the entire council based upon, we are one of the safest cities in Texas for sure. We believe that we already have plans for different types of border security that are not a physical type of wall. We have all this history that we put together, and the whole intent of that, we do. I mean, I think that everybody feels that in certain areas, a different type of barrier may make sense, but in like downtown Laredo, we would never want to see a barrier structure in that area. We would rather see other types of border security. And so the conversation that we have been having with that, and we've actually received some positive response out of the state for those alternatives to a physical wall. It's just that I need to bring the council up. It is your decision that you have to make And so I need to bring you up to date with what those conversations have looked like. And so, but the idea, right now, there are 2 parcels up by the Columbia Bridge. We do have, I think somebody had asked about a map. We do have the maps, but because it's part of the negotiation of the easement, we have the maps to share with you first before we share with everybody else.
Mayor, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
So I do, and I apologize, this just caused some confusion. I hope before we go into the back, we will agree to allow citizen comments to proceed apace. But I will say that, you know, in negotiations with the state, and we discuss our border security and how our unique place on this border it's different from other places. And we see different crossing numbers. We're the safest city in Texas right now, or at least of a week ago, we had 0 crossings in our entire sector. So our position is different, and we do have these other virtual wall measures that have been working, and also coordination with all the agencies that are here. It's not just CBP, but it's also Border Patrol, and we have a presence of National Guard. There are a lot of agencies that are working to keep us safe, while our population lives, works, and plays along our riverfront. That also is something that is very, very different than other places along our border. Our city runs right up to the river. So when we're talking about border wall, you are talking about border wall being built on places where our population goes to enjoy the river, to take their family, to engage in games, to hold business there. It's a very different idea than what we see going on in, say, Arizona in the middle of the desert. Now, I do not agree with building a border wall in the middle of the desert, but you're not interfering with the activity of people who spent, we're going to celebrate 270 years of being a community that shares not just a culture with Mexico, but also our daily lives and interactions with Mexico. So when we talk about negotiation of easements, it's realty, it's land. We're landowners. And when we talk about negotiations of that, any negotiation we enter to with the state, if we're using it as a point of leverage to make sure that our population stays safe and our population continues to enjoy these benefits, and that we don't see any threats to building right alongside our only source of drinking water, then everything we negotiate, it has to be in writing. We cannot assume that we're gonna earn some type of good attitude or appease somehow the state or the federal government by working with them, and that somehow we will accrue benefit by just putting it out there and hoping that they respond. That is not the kind of negotiation that we should be entering when we're talking to the state or talking to the federal government. I don't disagree with negotiation, but we need to make sure that the benefits accrue to our people here.
Mayor and City Council, Council Member, and again, that is the point of this conversation, is that it is to put those items in writing, whatever it is, whether any type of a negotiation. I think that's where the history that we have seen with the relationship with the federal government and the state government is that we want to make sure that we're covered within that. But I want to, you know, and the idea is that we're going to share where we're at today. I know that the mayor got involved very early on as we moved into this new administration on this side. We keep touting our safe city. We keep touting the few crossings that we do have here. We keep touting our economic powerhouse that we are for the crossing of product and everything. And I will say that they are hearing us. But the idea is to say, is there a way that we can work together or not within the entire structure of that? Because I think what we have to, and I think we're talking about the same language. We have to make sure that it is for the benefits of the city as to what we do. And I think what we're hearing, at least with the mayor's conversations with our representatives, with the administration, is that there is the possibility that we will be heard. And that's where I want to make sure, and I would recommend too, let's have the public comments if anybody wishes to speak on that. But I would like to have that conversation on the specifics of where we're at with the negotiation and the thought process of what we have with that.
And we do have some citizen comments regarding this. Aníbal? No, I'm sorry. José Díaz de León.
For the record, Jose Diaz de Leon, and I brought my sacred bear drum with me. I grew up in El Barrio El Tonto along the river. I fished all my life along the river. And here Councilman Gonzalez and I have competed in tournaments on the river. And it's very, very exciting, right? Especially when we land a big gar, a big catfish, right? But my concern here is a wall divides, right? Just like Ronald Reagan said, a wall divides, and we cannot afford to divide our city against the city across the river from us. I have friends, family on both sides of the river, and I would be an embarrassment for me to see a wall built between us. And more so if I go fishing down at the Columbia Bridge and I can't get down to the river because there's a wall, you know? And I love fishing. I love fishing. Now, somebody mentioned technology right now. Years ago, I asked a border patrolman, how good is your technology? No, we can see somebody walking a mile away, right? In other words, approaching the river. Well, if we set up a virtual wall, which is very high tech right now, very, very advanced, I think that could solve our problem, not a physical wall. And that way, Councilman Gonzalez and myself can continue to participate in fishing tournaments along the Rio, right? But if a wall is built, that's going to keep me and the community that loves to fish on the Rio from fishing. So those are some of the items that I wanted to address, and I want to thank the council here. You know, go to your heart, know how you're affecting our community, and be thoughtful of what your actions are going to cause, right? A wall is not the answer. A wall is not the answer. I know as a Native American, I would terribly want to see a wall built on a virgin river, a river that flows freely here through Laredo. So thank you again. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Jesse Fuentes.
Honorable Mayor, distinguished council members, city administration staff, and those present. My name is Jesse F. Fuentes. I am with the Eagle Pass Border Coalition, and I am also a small business owner. I'm a river outfitter on the Rio Grande in Eagle Pass, Texas. And I'm here as a friend, as a good friend from upstream. And I know the allotted time is short. I could tell you so many stories about your particular item number 34 that you might want to consider. But I'm going to touch on a few things, and I want you to hear them and know that I'm available if you'd like to discuss, I guess, the story that I'm going to tell you as a harbinger to truth and consequences. We've lost a lot of things in the last 2 years in Eagle Pass, Texas. And, you know, it's one of those things in life that no one plans for. But we trusted the state. And the state came in. And without any notice, once you let them in, they start doing things that you cannot control. And we find ourselves in a situation where we are a militarized community. We have a forward operating base to the south. We have 2 soft bases to the north. We have a DPS facility to the east, and they've an encampment at our park, Shelby Park, 40 acres. They took away our connection to our culture, our history, our green space, and they're still there under emergency declaration. All I can say is, if you proceed down this path, be careful. And the only thing I can tell you is I can regress to what my papa used to tell me. Be careful who you let into your house. Because if you let them in, they're going to take over and they're going to do as they please. And you won't be able to stop them. Because the attitude of the state is, we're going to go in and do what it takes. And then if you want to stop us, sue us. We'll see you at the Supreme Court. And that's a sad way to be, because what you have here is beautiful. I've been to your park by the river, and it's brought tears to my eyes, because I miss it in our home. And you don't want that here. Around the state, I've had the opportunity to be giving testimony in Austin, and you know what? They respect Laredo and what you guys do. You are a shining beacon of, I guess, the stands that you've taken to not build a wall. A stand of resistance that's noticeable. And I think they might also fear you because when Laredo comes up, there's respect for you. And the only thing that I can tell you as you proceed is please proceed with caution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Arturo Santos Jr.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman. My name is Arturo Santos. I'm the president of the Laredo Border Flag Football League. We play there at Father Magno Field every Sunday and Wednesday nights. We represent over 3,000 members that like flag football, that like sports. We play Sundays around 1,000 players there at the fields. And we heard that if the wall is made, they're gonna require at least half of the fields that we play on. That's what and we're here to protest against the wall because recreation. We played there for over 20 years and we have no problems at all. No problems with Mexico. No problems with. We even have 3 teams that play there that are border patrol teams, and we would continue playing there. We'd like to continue playing there because we enjoy. We take our families, children, everybody's take their lawn chairs, their tents, and everything. Everybody enjoys being there along the river. The field is just you can see the river right there, and everybody likes to enjoy playing there. So we are just protesting against the wall, the building of the wall, because we're for recreation, and like a lot of players been playing there for the past 20 years, father, sons, and we would like to continue playing there, and we wouldn't want the wall to affect our fields where we participate. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Margarita Arraiza.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, and city staff. I'm a former executive director of the Webb County Heritage Foundation, so.
Your name for the record, please.
Pardon?
Your name for the record.
Margarita Araiza.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to see further down the agenda that there is an item about the city cooperating with the 270th birthday anniversary of the city. I would remind you of that, and also that the city was founded on our river. The river is the reason that we're here. It is our identity, it's our greatest asset, an advantage, whether economic, touristic, or cultural. It's our place on the river that that makes it important, that makes us important. No other community possesses those same gifts. It's our superpower. I know that Mr. Nebb talked about how the property under review tonight is just in between two other properties, and it's over by the Columbia Bridge. I'm glad to hear that we're not considering doing anything downtown, but I would point out that if there's any negotiation for any part of city-owned property for this purpose, it would set a precedent. And after that, I think Mr. Jesse Trevino's point is very relevant. Be careful. Be careful what you consider and say, well, it's just that little piece in between these other pieces, because if it's city property, it's city property. And I, for one, as a taxpayer and a longtime member of the community, don't want any city property used for a border barrier. Security is important to all of us. We value that, of course, and yes, there are other means to secure our border that do not require a physical barrier. So again, before you go back into private discussions and negotiate real estate that belongs to the entire city, I would respectfully remind you that this land is not yours to give away. It belongs to past generations that fought very hard for it, and it belongs to our future generations. And we wouldn't want them to look back and judge this council and say, they're the ones that gave it away. Thank you.
Thank you. Valentin Ruiz.
Put this up, please. Okay. Okay, Valentin Ruiz for the record. City Manager Mr. Neeb, item 34 will give a blanket easement for a border wall and give city property to the state. Am I to believe that Mayor Trevino directed you to place item 34 on the agenda? Yes or no, sir?
These are not questions and answers. Just go ahead and state your comment, please.
Mr. Neeb, is it true that not a single council member was briefed fully on agenda item 34 before you handed it to them last Wednesday? Yes or no? I assume there's a reason you're not answering me. In my humble opinion, item 34 blanket easement is a blank check of destruction for the state, that in the end, Laredo taxpayers will have to flip the bill to maintain those roads. Mayor, you failed to maintain the streets of Laredo presently, and now you want to burden taxpayers with more roads to maintain. Is it not cheaper to build a riverfront park that will benefit the economic growth of Laredo as well as border security? It would also save our only water source from further evaporation and pollution. Mexico, a powerhouse, is planning economic growth. Y Laredo is dropping the ball if you pass item 34. We need to protect our only water source because aquifers are systematically being contaminated by active and inactive unplugged orphan wells. Let me say this again. Aquifers are systematically being contaminated by active and inactive unplugged orphan wells with the oil field secret sauce, carcinogen chemicals that cause cancer, contaminated salt water, and rusted pipes that are underground. Remember the history of our government and the state, a history of broken promises, broken treaties, and that our government has broken these treaties with our people. Mayor Trevino and council members, I was there in Eagle Pass when they didn't allow our group of Native Americans to have a Native American ceremony on the riverfront. All we were going to do was pray, and we were not allowed by the state. We need you to have the aguacates and the backbone to defend our land and water from tyrants like Governor Greg Abbott and Trump and their failed border wall that only fills their deep pockets. Mayor, you gave yourself a $30,000 raise, and some members gave yourselves a $25,000 raise. You bending the knees to bullies is this type of leadership we're getting for that raise you gave yourself. We need leaders that are willing to fight for Laredo citizens and its economic growth. La agua es vida, con ella todo y sin ella nada. Gracias.
Abimal Perez. I'm sorry, I didn't pronounce your first name correctly.
It's fine. My name is Abimael Perez.
Okay.
Thank you. So what I wanted to say is that there are not that many comments I can make that haven't already been said. What I know is that I don't sincerely believe the majority of Laredo wants a border wall. Now, there has not been any census, any surveys that I know, that I've Googled, that show what most of Laredo or what most people in South Texas on their opinion of a border wall. What I do remember is that back when Trump was first president, they painted right next to this building, really close to it, they painted the Fund the Wall. And I remember everyone being very proud of that. It felt like a community building moment, something that made us all feel proud of being Laredoans. So when I hear these people and these politicians from Washington talking about that we need to build a border wall, we need to have this wall, there's so much crime, there's so much things happening in the border, it's a war zone. Like, what I think is that no one has really bothered to ask us. You know, no one has really come here, or at least they haven't been here and asked us what we think about this. So I asked the city council to consider what the people of Laredo may want and may not want to see. You've already seen many people, and I'm sure there's going to be many more that are going to be coming in to be speaking against the border wall, to be saying how much we enjoy our activities at the border, how much we enjoy being by the river and enjoying the fruits of nature that we can see. I asked that the city council look at these please seriously, because while I may not have a survey, I may not have a ton of data, I believe this is a reflection of what the majority of the people in Laredo want. As city council members, it is your duty to not necessarily go what by the majority says, but serve your constituents. Okay, so you are required to listen to them. Here, we do. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have several citizen comments here, but they don't have an item or as a general comments. Is everybody together with the Renteria Group? No? All right. What about Maximiliano Prado? Right.
Does it pertain to this item?
Does it pertain to this item? Yes. All right. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, city council members, staff.
Your name for the record.
My name is Maximiliano Prado. I've been a citizen of Laredo for most of my life. Funny enough, I'm a Boy Scout. I was a Boy Scout with Eagle Scout, so like shout out to the scouts that are here. Through scouting, I was involved in nature a lot. I've been kayaking in the river. I've been mountain biking in the river as well in the parks. I've also even swam in the river for the fun of it, just to see it was freezing, but it was fun. And we take great pride of that We see the beauty of the parks here in Laredo, the river, the beauty of the river, and we take pride of that. We have the birding festival, we have many other events here in Laredo, and not even that, but also like we take pride in our sister twin city of Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, right? So there's a lot of pride that we have from just that one river, and that's all being threatened here today by the construction of the border wall. Future generations won't be able to enjoy that access to kayaking, biking, or even swimming, or whatever they might do by the riverfront to enjoy that cultural piece of Laredo history and culture. But it will also show more further division that we have here in not only Laredo, but also Texas and the United States. There is a lot of fear, there's a lot of division, especially right now. And what we're trying to do is please avoid voting for this wall. Even though the priority would be part of private property, but there should be no border wall in public property either. As many have mentioned, once we cave in to the state, there will be more. We already have the National Guard here. We already have DPS troopers here as part of Operation Lone Star. We are still in a state of declaration of emergency since 2021 as part of Operation Lone Star to get many grants. We got grants from the government, from the state government for Operation Lone Star. We got grants from the federal government for Border Patrol, right? So we already safe. We don't need to do a lot more to keep safe. As Councilmember Sigurd mentioned, we had no border crossing recently, so why have further divisions, not only for our parks, our environment that might also damage our environment, but also divide us more from our sister city of Nuevo Laredo. Thank you.
Thank you. Maxime Roberts, or what is it? Reveles.
Hi, my name is Maxine Reveles, for the record, and I'm a mother and former teacher, and someone who brings back community warnings from my time on the Chisme Tour with the national org Mi Gente. Communities that couldn't fight off the border wall have shown us the long-term impacts of what building a wall will have on children in our community. The psychological impact of living near the border walls on children has been studied by mental health experts. In fact, it even has a name called wall sickness. The effect has been studied across the world, from the Berlin Wall in Germany to the border wall in Brownsville, Texas. The symptoms of the wall sickness include causing increased feelings of isolation and despair among communities, increased incidence of depression, anxiety, and paranoia, which can increase alcoholism, drug use, and even suicide. Keep in mind that the Berlin Wall was only 14 feet high. 14 feet. The border wall will be 30 feet high, more than twice the height of the Berlin Wall. The impacts are so long-lasting, they can be seen in Berlin Wall survivors even 35 years after the wall came down. Building a border wall did not become a source of safety and security as was promised by the politicians. Building a border wall had the exact opposite effect and becoming a source of sadness, confusion, and fear. The impacts of living in a walled city are damaging, long-lasting, and deep. It will impact mental health, our ecology, economy. The legacy will live on much longer than your time here in office. Councilman Gonzalez, I ran against you, and my son was 14 when he convinced me that you, out of all of us, would do good, and you have done good. And I know that you're not gonna push us out for politicians. Councilman Rangel, you fought like hell to get this position. And you come from the barrio like me, and you know that our word to protect our people is all we have to stand on. So I know you're gonna go and fight these rich politicians who will bulldoze over our elder communities, because you won't allow that. Councilman Vanessa Perez, I was with you in Eco Madres when you were fighting and fighting and fighting to get someone to help you protect our children from what you knew would eventually kill them. And we will stand by you, because right now, Father McNobe isn't on the chopping block, but I'm telling you right now, with all these communities that we have talked to, you give these people a foot and they're gonna come back for 100 miles, literally. So when y'all go to Washington, D.C., remember what you're fighting for. Bring that Jasmine Crockett energy and remind them that we're older than the United States and we're not going to bend over for them. Protect our communities because they will lie and get what they can. As soon as their foot is in the door, they don't care about our communities. Please heed my warning.
Thank you. Jesse Herrera.
For the record, I'm Jesse G. Herrera. Some call me a poet, some call me the dude, but I've always been Jesse G. Herrera. Anything you might have heard about me is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the guilty. Legacy. Texas barrier infrastructure. 3 words that mean the official wall of Texas. There's sugar-coated turd. No matter how much sugar they put on it, it's still a turd. A monstrosity of rust for all time and the elements to deal with long after its authors have turned to dust. I urge our leaders to not leave a monstrous legacy of rust and hate, but to leave the environment how it's been for thousands of years, with an unobstructed panoramic view of the land of the Rio Grande. We are the stewards of this environment for our children and for our children's children. We don't need the wall. The Texas barrier infrastructure is nothing more than a symbol of division, even though we all breathe the same air. Let us feel the wind. Let us smell the Usache. Let us see the river. Gracias.
Ricardo de Anda.
I don't need it. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff. My name is Ricardo de Anda. I'm a resident of Laredo, a longtime attorney here. And I want to speak to you about item 34. I want to get very specific about the item now. It says authorizing for the city manager to grant a blanket easement. Now, the city manager has told you that he's bringing this to you so that he can begin negotiations. I take it that means he's going to bring it back to you so that you can make a final decision, because that's not what this item says. If you vote this item as it stands, you're going to authorize him to grant a blanket easement. Now, what's a blanket easement? First of all, what property are we talking about? Why don't we put it up there so that the people in this community can know what these little 2 pieces of land are that we're talking about? Where specifically are they? Where are they going to put this easement? It says, upon completion of the Texas barrier infrastructure construction on this parcel, grantee will provide the city with a professional ground survey. They're going to build the thing before you even know where it's going to be. You don't even know how wide it's going to be. I can understand him saying, we don't want to negotiate in public and let you know how much we're asking and how much they're offering. But the least they can tell us is how wide. Are they going to sell the whole thing to the state? Now, the elephant in this room is not these little 2 parcels of land. It's what the state wants to do with city-owned property here. Councilwoman Perez, we're talking about Father Magnum Park. Councilman Garza, we're talking about Slaughter Park. Councilwoman Cigarroa, we're talking about the bridge areas downtown. That's what's going on tonight. That's why the people are upset. And Councilwoman, I believe Councilman Gutierrez, you pointed out that we don't really know what's going on here, but we can only suspect the worst. So why don't you be clear about this? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to allow this wall to be built? Now, I'm a landowner along the river. I've received an offer from the state. I own the land, but I really don't. I and my family own the land. And we sat down and we talked about it, and we rejected it. You don't own the land, as was pointed out earlier. You don't own the land. The people of this community own the land. Please have some responsibility. You're going off to Washington. They're going to be asking boatloads from you when you go to Washington. Watch out. Don't give away the store when you go to Washington. Come back with the bacon. Don't leave the family jewelry in Washington, D.C., and allow them to build this wall in our community. Jesse was correct. Laredo has respect because we've stood up to this wall. They've not built it here. And we're not about to let it happen on our watch. And we're asking you to stand behind us. Thank you.
Thank you. Tricia Cortez.
Good evening, Mayor
Evening.
and council members and city manager and city management. My name's Tricia Cortez with the Rio Grande International Studies Center, and I'm here to give a short presentation as it relates to the ongoing threat for Laredo to build a border wall. And just as a reminder from what we learned last time, what a border wall is. It means the confiscation and destruction of our land. It means the removal of public access to the river and the River Vega forever. It means impacts to our source of drinking water, and it is not a policy solution. As it is, as City Manager Neb said, Laredo is one of the safest cities of our size in the United States, and the Laredo sector has some of the lowest crossings along the border without a wall. This was alluded to earlier. The Laredo Wall would be more than twice the size of the Berlin Wall. And this is what it looks like. And we did the 30-foot walls. This is a Cuatro neighborhood in West Laredo, what that would look like. Father McNabo Park, what would be lost? It would be a transformed landscape. This is very close to home in Zapata. What this looks like. And last time, like this time, as you know, this is about a battle for the very soul of Laredo. The cost of the wall, according to the state documents with Fisher Wall out of North Dakota, 1 mile, $27.2 million. And so what could even just 1 mile fund? How much roadway along Mines Road for the congestion? How many fast lanes at World Trade Bridge? How many world-class regional parks that we don't have? How much of an event convention center could be built? How much of a well-staffed level 2 major trauma center that we lack and people have to get helicoptered out of here for that sort of treatment? And how many fire stations or police stations that is even being asked for in the bond? This is a gross, inefficient use of public funds, and we need y'all to ask the state to fund what we really need here. This is what we stand to lose. Parks like this, summer camps, spring break camps for kids like this. Las Palmas Nature Trail is just one of them. Kayaking on the river. Birding. We just had the birding festival, 160 people. They come from Australia, Japan, Canada, all over the United States because of what we have, and they don't. This is with Councilmember Richie Rangel, and I know Councilmember Alisa Cigarroa went by Slaughter Park. This is at the Max Mandel Golf Course. And we are asking that people don't sign, and that decisions that are being made for us, stories being told about us so negatively by people who don't live here, the damage to Laredo's reputation as a safe, thriving city is long-term and unquantifiable. And we've seen that by people who are afraid to move here. I know y'all get asked all the time, is it safe to live in Laredo? We hear this all the time. So in closing, Mayor and city council members and city management, it's to go into this with eyes wide open when dealing with government agents because of what has happened in other places. And I come with the hope from many who couldn't be here tonight that you continue to stand strong, that you continue to hold the line and protect and defend our most precious resource, the river, and our community's access to it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next item.
We have,
Oh, we still have one more comment? Or, let's see.
we don't have any other ones.
We don't have any other ones. No, we don't have any other ones. Let's check it. Let's see those.
David Patricio, Mr. David Patricio.
David Patricio. Okay.
Good afternoon. This is my first time here. For the record, my name is David Patricio, not a long-time resident of Laredo. Looking around the room, I see a lot of people that are familiar, a lot of familiar faces. Of course, of the city council, see a lot of people around. But again, the reason I'm here is for item 34. Mr. Danda was up here and he read it pretty good. If people don't know, Mr. Danda's an attorney. I had the pleasure of working for him, and I consider him a friend. And he kind of says that blanket easement, and that's the reason I was here, because a blanket easement to the Tatus, Texas can just cause all sorts of chaos and nonsense fast. In the past 5 years, I became a cyclist. I don't look like your average cyclist. When I'm cycling, I don't wear tights. I'm not part of the Laredo Cycling Association. I consider myself an independent rider. I consider myself not a team rider. And the reason I do that is to get away from stress from work, from stress from life, from just everyday battles that one has within. And I kayak down the river with a friend, Laredo Kayak. Mr. Villaseñor, I hadn't met him before, but he was here, and that's an awesome thing to do. If people have not done that here in Laredo, I welcome everybody to join. Just a quick paddle. It's a quick event, real fun, real nice, really cool. And me personally, what am I here for? I work in the Heights. I get out of work at 6 o'clock. I get on my bike and I ride off Bartlett, down Malinche, down into Slaughter Park, cut Slaughter Park, down into the water treatment facility at Azteca Park, head down toward Las Palmas Trail, go up down the outlets down by the river, come back around all the way down the easement of Border Patrol roads, all the way up to the Jefferson Water Plant, come back up on San Ignacio Street, up to the college, around the college, the baseball fields, around the college one more time, over the bridge, back downtown, and back up Market. I feel I cross a lot of city council members' areas when I'm doing that, and I do that at 6:30, 7:30 at night, late by myself, most of the time. Sometimes I get a friend or two to come with me, and I've been doing this for 5 years, and I can say that I've never had an issue with any kind of crossings illegally. Sometimes, yes, I have Border Patrol kind of get in my way. I'm in their way, I understand. I'm in their property. I have to take care of them. As take care of myself when they're coming around and they're working and I'm just having fun. And all this fun that is there for all of us. As I talked about, that's my afternoon route. Sundays, I like riding. I live at La Bota Ranch. I come down all the way from La Bota Ranch, can come all the way downtown, connect back up to Slaughter Park, come up all the trail, which is Chacuan Trail, come up all the way behind Walmart on Zapata Highway, come back on the loop, and ride back home. That's about a 30-mile ride, and you guys are welcome to come. And just one more thing. I started doing these full moon rides at night, of course, and January was my first one. I had 15 people join me. The second time, I had 9 people join. The next one is March 14th. It's a Friday, and everyone's welcome to join. Bring your bikes, bring your lights, bring your helmets, and let's have some fun and enjoy this river. We need more fun like this instead of a wall or just more clarity on the blanket. And then that last sentence here that caught my attention. There is no financial impact at this time. But there's a lot of problems that can cause for this, that we might not make any money, but we're gonna ruin a lot of stuff that we have free to the public. Thank you for your time. And
Thank
somebody
you.
got to put some on.
Nidia Robles.
This is not, our invite is not regarding this.
Sorry. Rianne Renteria, is it on this item? Yes, okay.
Hello, I'm so sorry about the confusion. I know you said I was a group, but no, it's just me.
Go ahead.
So, first and foremost, good afternoon. My name is Rihanna Renteria.
Your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Rihanna Renteria. And I stand before you today as a member of the Network Opportunity Progress, the Network for Opportunity Progress, Advocacy, and Liberation, known as NOPAL. Now, this is a very youth-led program, organization. But most importantly, I stand here as a member of District 8 and as a citizen of Laredo. Now, I'm sure you're well aware, of course, everybody's been up here talking about the development of the wall and everything, and I could say so much. I mean, I wrote swaths here, literal pages, just on the drive over, about what I wanted to say. I could go on and on about how this isn't a finished deal, this is a negotiation, and you have a responsibility in order to represent us, that the wall won't make the city some sort of a paradise, that it doesn't create opportunities, it doesn't protect our families, it doesn't help them in any real quantifiable way. I could tell you about how it tears through our land, it demolishes our communities, centuries of history, and irreparably harms our ecosystems. I could tell you that the money that they'll use to build it could recreate our metro system, that we could be incredibly sustainable and safer, and I mean, that's someone who takes the bus, that would be great for me, right? I could tell you that instead of the money poured into concrete and steel, you could pour it into the minds of our children. You could fund the schools that are currently being defunded. I could tell you about the roads and potholes that really need to be fixed. I could tell you about the cancerous air we have and about the pipes that have been messed up for quite some time. But that's something you've already heard. It's nothing new. And I'm going to repeat this sort of sentiment, and I'm pretty young. I'm only 20. I'm a kid. And I'm sure lots of people here have read it, and I'm sure maybe you have to your kids or your family members. But if you give a mouse a cookie, it takes, and it takes, and it takes. And in this moment, I'm not going to say the government's rats, but if you give that mouse a cookie, you give them a little piece of wall by our beautiful Columbia Bridge, they're going to take, and they're going to take. And the wall is so much more than just a wall. At this point, I'm going off script. The wall isn't just a huge gate, 30 feet tall, incredibly terrifying to witness. It's also swaths of land destroyed in order to create roads for our increasingly militarized border patrol to do their job. So that's not just big wall, but you can still look through it. It's also entire chunks of land destroyed, our beautiful ecosystem, just for driving, which we have lots of driving already. I think it's a bit of a problem at this point. Most of all, I want to say that this land, our history, our heritage, our Laredo is not just something to be traded away. So when you go to Washington, when you speak to politicians, don't cater to them. Don't work in the interest of just yourself or your wallet or a politician or a political party. Work in the interest of the people who put you in the positions where you are today, the people who rely on you in your districts and your neighbors, because Laredo's not just some spot on a map, it's not just this border town, it's a home, it's a culture, it's an experience, and we need to be able to protect that. And what I say isn't all, because there's lots of people who are more than happy to speak, and lots of people who will fight, who will stand beside you as you fight and as you resist with the pride that you have inside of your culture and inside of your city to protect us. Because we fight not just with some red-hot rage, but with the fiery passion of the love we have for our people. And that's just for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Angel Rivera.
Good evening, council members, mayor, city staff. My name is Angel Rivera. like Reagan said, tear down this wall. So if he said that many, many years ago, why do we have to build one? Now I go into what I want to do. I've been here 30 years. I came here from San Antonio. I made the international market in 6 years in business. I have done my work for international people. So when I'm semi-retired, and what I want to do in Laredo is for the tourists. It's for Laredo, not for me. And I've given you all my experiences. I want to pass that on to the kids so you can use that to build a tourist attraction. The old post office is the perfect place for that. Nothing else. Anytime you rent that place to somebody else or give it to a non-profit organization, you're not doing anything good for that organization, not the city. And I want to leave a legacy for the city, not for me. I'm 80 years old and I don't need any pat on the back. I already reached the international market. I received it, I call it the Oscar. I received the Oscar when I was asked by Vitro, the largest glass company in the world, for me to represent them throughout Texas. Well, there's got to be a reason why they asked me. I was flabbergasted to have received that ask. So if I want to do something, it's for Laredo, it's not for me. I already reached the market. I already done many things that people don't even know about because I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it because I don't have to. I just do what I have to do. So reconsider having that old post office as a tourist attraction. I'd be glad to run it for free. And you can, we can teach the kids about, to teach the tourists and anybody that comes there to teach them about Laredo. Have pictures of people who have made a commitment or have done something good for Laredo. And I got a picture. I've got some reel that I want to pass on to my councilwoman Figueroa about what they do in Monterrey, Mexico. Every Sunday they have a dance for all the senior citizens and the people of Monterrey. Well, I want to build that. I want people to have fun. I want people to enjoy. But mostly when people come over here, they'll learn so much about Laredo and what we have to give to other cities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, before a decision is made, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session on this particular item, so Mr. Knapp can get us up to date on what we're actually going to be voting for.
Second? Go ahead, comment.
There's somebody signed up for a public comment, I guess.
Oh, we have one more?
Yes.
What's the name, please?
Mariana
I'll rescind my motion until public comment is done. Did you sign up, ma'am?
Okay. We don't have the,
I gave you all the comment cards.
We don't have a card for.
okay.
And Virginia Garcia.
All right. Let's see. What was your name, sir?
Good afternoon, Major Trevino, council members and city staff. My name is Mariana Salinas. I am the president of the Zacate Creek Green District Coalition. I represent a group of organized citizens from the Azteca neighborhood who are engaged in the community-based and restoration project at the Las Palmas Nature Trail. This restoration project involves the removal of invasive plants and trees that they have taken over the beautiful stretch of land along the river and replant approximately 300 native trees. This will serve to improve these natural areas and restore the dignity to the neighborhood by building community pride through resident participation. I want to thank Council Member Alisa Cigarroa along with the City Manager Joseph Neff, Assistant City Manager Jose Valdez, Assistant City Manager Ramon Chavez, and Park and Recreation Director J.J. Gomez for meeting with our project manager to express support for this much needed work. We hope to continue to work together so that we can improve the quality of life in our neighborhood. Thank you for all your support. This community-based initiative contains border security future through the removal of dense vegetation which will provide the line of sight for the U.S. Border Patrol. I would like to thank the Border Patrol for meeting with us and other stakeholders to collaborate on this project, which will improve security in the neighborhood while restoring a much-needed recreation area. As an active resident of this community, I am proud of the effort put forth by the Azteca residents. We have a diverse group volunteering at the Las Palmas Nature Trail, which includes age ranges from 18 to 82. We have a lot of people that is very young and older. I hope that this effort serves as a model for other riverfront neighborhoods in Laredo. This community-based project funded by Methodist Health Ministries will intersect and complement the $2 million USDA-funded restoration project made possible through the Office of U.S. Congressman Henry Cuellar, where Azteca residents will participate in the design and planning of a restored Las Palmas Nature Trail. I am here to remind you of the decision made here and in Austin or Washington have a tremendous impact of the citizens of Laredo, especially in neighborhoods like El Azteca, where I reside and will affect us for generations to come. We have great faith in you, Mayor Trevino, council members and city staff to make the right decision that will be in the best interest of the city and in particular all the neighborhoods along the river. I trust the decision you make in Washington will be for the good of our community and reflect the values of our city, especially those Azteca residents who are volunteering the Las Palmas Nature Trail Restoration Project. Please don't let their unselfish efforts go in vain. On behalf of the Zacatec Creek Green District Coalition and the residents of the Azteca neighborhood, we would like to wish Mayor Trevino, council members, and city staff safe and fruitful trip to our nation's capital. Thank you very much, and you guys have a safe trip and come back safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Secretary, can you make a card for her, please? Would you make a card for her, please? Yes.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to table this item temporarily, just so we can, do a recognition for the police that we have on the supplemental so that they can get back to what they need to do.
We have one more comment. One more public comment, then we'll go with that.
Okay, well, after that public comment,
Yes.
I'd like to pause this item, table this item, so we can go up, supplemental A1 and
Okay.
then come back.
You got a motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this public comment.
That's my motion, Mayor.
Yes, that's your motion. Second? All in favor? Okay, we'll do it. Go ahead and do it. All
Hi,
right.
everybody.
Virginia Garcia.
Virginia Garcia, also known as Vicky. I'm a downtown resident, right down the street. Don't block my driveway, or I'll call them. I'm here ditto to what everyone else said. So I'll make this really quick. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. I've come back after 4 years of doing emergency response work, working with victims of climate change disasters and people who have no drinking water. And so to see this rise up again in the form of an easement, it's a little disconcerting because it can happen in this area very easily. There's a lot of things that don't make sense, especially because this consideration of a wall, whether it's state, whether it's federal, it just doesn't make sense in that there are no crossings in this area. I also do some other work with certain other agencies. But Laredo has never been the source where people come in mass droves here. And some of you may remember history-wise, when we had the Central American mass migration, we started the Laredo Humanitarian Relief Team. Even back then, we had mass amounts of people here, but they weren't crossing in Laredo. The Border Patrol brings people from outside, so a wall makes no sense at all. With the numbers that we have right now, which is 0, with what's happened in the past, with the impact to our environment, with the impact to recreational sports and just the beauty that is Laredo. I mean, I know that none of us were alive back then, but the river has shifted over the years. And if you look at some of the insurance maps from years ago, more than 100 years ago, you'll see streets that existed that no longer exist because they're underwater, because that river has moved and shifted. So it makes no sense that this be brought up again, even if it's in the form of considering an easement or any other plática about walls. It doesn't make sense, so I'm asking you all to please make sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman, we'll proceed. Councilman Rodriguez.
No. Okay, this, item A1, in recognition of Chief Rodriguez, rank officers, which means, command staff, and all Laredo police officers for their planning and execution of all 2025 WBCA events, securing overall public safety in collaboration with many law enforcement agencies. With this, I just wanna, say, I mean, we even had a meeting prior to this with each of us, to plan, to execute. Captain, you were very focused in the briefing, and then to be in these events and watch you guys execute this firsthand. We see the families involved, so many people in the WBCA events, and this should not go unrecognized at all. This was big city status. We appreciate, on behalf of District 1 and the citywide, we appreciate you so much. We know you guys were ready for anything. It was cold out there, but even to have federal agents involved in all this was well planned and executed. Thank you so much.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you. Gentlemen, lady, you're back there, ma'am. Want to say thank you all. It went off without incident, and I know you all are absolute professionals, and you all keep us looking fantastic, keeping us safe, always doing the job, always keeping your head on a swivel, as is said now very often. Captain, thank you. I know you did plenty when it came to chiefs. Thank you so much. Lieutenants, the same thing. Every single person out there that I saw, and I did the entire route, smiling, of course, but you all were always there. Every single intersection, there was an officer there, there was a deputy there, constable there. I saw a lot of federal agents, also state agencies as well. So the collaboration of you all bringing it all together really resonated with the community. And we just all felt extremely safe. So just again, thank you so much for everything and all your professionalism. Really appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to say thank you as well. Thank you, Ruben, for putting that so hard to come after, right? But yes, gentlemen, thank you. Ladies, thank you so much for everything you did for us. The route was safe, protecting the kids, even though they were running inside, trying to get the beads and the balls and stuff. all those toys that we're trying to throw out there. You kept us safe as much as possible, and you know, my family felt safe. Our volunteers felt safe. You know, we had all this this lines that you see, all the exits covered everywhere you went. You had officers, and it was like something different. We never seen it before, but at the same time, it was very, you know, we felt secure. So thank you so much for everything you did. I know you endured all the weather, the bad weather, the rain. I'm still recovering from my voice from that rain night, from that day. But thank you so much for what you guys do.
Right. And one more thing before we leave. I was there at the command center, and it was really top notch. It was professional to the max, and you only see that in a large city where there's a lot of communication, a lot of law enforcement. But I think Laredo was up there. So congratulations and thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, go ahead.
Just to echo, I think, we're used to seeing, you know, the presence, but I don't think people realize all the back end planning and preparation that went into this. I know there was a lot of coordination with the FBI and other law enforcement entities, and that's not an easy task in and of itself. I know they were prepared for the worst and hoping for the best, and so I think you all were successful in your execution, and we appreciate that and look forward to seeing those operations grow from year to year.
Mayor Mann,
Yes, one more.
I just want to express my appreciation for all of your hard work. We always hear when we travel outside how well Laredo coordinates and collaborates, and that's what makes our community so unique and strong. And I think you showed that in spades. So thank you, as all of my colleagues have stated. Thank you for keeping us safe.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I got to stand next to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. We're gonna need to. There you go. That's good. Here we go. Ready? First one, two. Yeah.
Honorable Mayor, distinguished members of council, Mr. Senior Manager, staff, good evening. Ricardo Gonzalez, Assistant Chief, Laredo Police Department, for the record. On behalf of Chief Rodriguez, who couldn't be with us here tonight, he sincerely thanks you. We all thank you. The only reason why we're able to be so successful is because of the support that we get from each and every one of you. Also our law enforcement partners. Nothing that we do alone. And of course, other stakeholders and the community. They're great too. They're well behaved, so very easy to do. On behalf of Chief Rodriguez, he wanted for me to express a few words of gratitude, if you don't mind. So, on behalf of Chief Rodriguez, Honorable Mayor, and Council members, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each of you for recognizing the efforts of your Laredo Police Department in developing a well-planned safety plan for a recent WBCA events. Your acknowledgement is truly appreciated and serves as a testament to the hard work and dedication of our team. The success of this event was a direct result of the collaborative efforts and meticulous planning by all agencies involved. Your recognition not only boosts morale, but also reinforces our commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of our community. Thank you again for your support and recognition. We look forward to continuing to serve and protect our community with the highest standard of excellence. Chief Mike Rodriguez. Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, again, I'd like to motion to go into executive session for item number 34 and item number 64. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074A1, and any staff deems necessary to do so, to join us as well. Yes, ma'am.
Motion?
Do we have any other citizen comments or?
No, ma'am. No more.
Not regarding that item, but we do have a.
Oh, that's right.
Mayor, it's, her public comment is an invitation to council.
Oh, well,
It's not a- it's not a-
let's hear that comment before we go in.
We'll rescind that. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, good evening, Nidia Robles, Executive Director for Laredo Main Street for the record. I'm just here to really quick, I wanted to invite you all to the 24th annual Weta Jambuzi. It's happening Saturday, March 22nd. Again, I'm very thankful for all of your support. It means a lot. Without the city support, without all management, it wouldn't be a successful event. We are inviting everybody to join us. It will be at our downtown Laredo from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's a beautiful event. It's become a beloved tradition now that not only the community but also our downtown residents are able to walk to the event and enjoy a beautiful evening. So I encourage you all to visit us. I did include some tickets and VIP bracelets. So I just hope you all can join us. And we are having our Jambuzi Parade. It will be bigger and better than last year. So I also encourage all of you all, if you want to be a part of it, I will be contacting you all. And I really do want to thank City Manager, Mr. Neff, for taking my phone calls, taking my emails for me, just making sure this event is a successful event, meeting with all the city departments. I'm very grateful again with Laredo PD, Fire Department, Traffic, Health. Again, you mentioned Laredo is big in coordinating events, and I want to make sure that this is a successful and safety event for our community. So I encourage everybody to visit us Saturday, March 22nd.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Mayor, I'm hoping the third time is a charm. Motion to go into executive session for number 34 and 64 pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074A1. And to include staff and any other member deemed necessary.
072.
072 as well. Thank
All
you.
in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Executive session. Back from executive session. Discussions were done to explore easement discussions.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'd like to move that we reject the language of blanket easement and that we move forward in empowering our city manager to continue negotiations and that he come back to council with his recommendations after the discussion.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I want to bring that item number 7.
We need to make it to 64.
64?
Executive session.
Oh, 60, yes, that's right.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
A motion to continue with Mr. Joneb for at least another year and give him that 4% raise that's in the contract as well.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
I'm so sorry, if I may, did you also want to direct for the rubric for 6-month
Yes.
evaluation?
Add that to your motion.
Add it to the motion, correct.
Okay, add it to the motion.
Amendment, yes.
Amended to the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Neb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Mrs. Nev, I know you're very happy to be staying another year. Thank you for always being here.
At least another year.
All right. Okay. Next item. Right.
Next item, where's it? Yeah. Let's go, Mayor, we can go to the consent agenda.
Hey.
We're going to public here? No, we're not.
Where'd you have,
Ask Mayor.
bring up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Nothing to say. The municipal court, number item number 7, I make a motion. To bring the item number 7, I think we have municipal court judges here, and they've been here for a while, so, bring their presentation.
Motion, second, all in favor? Motion passes.
Number 30. No. What is it?
So we need to bring up, make a motion for everybody number 30.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to read item number 30.
Second. Motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
I think it's a management issue.
If I may,
How to read it.
I'll take this.
Go ahead.
Read
On number 30, I'm sorry, I'll read it first. Discussion and possible action to address newly created municipal judge position following the approval of the charter revision requiring 2 full-time municipal judges, including the process for appointment pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 29.011 and Texas Elections Code Section 201.027. The city will open the appointment process to interested candidates for a period of 30 days. Candidates must submit a letter of interest and a resume for consideration. Upon the close of the submission period, the names and qualifications of all applicants will be presented to the city council for review.
So,
Yes, go.
So, management, quick question, why is it that we brought this item up? Is that we're looking for searching, do we have a time frame for all this?
If I may, this is what was passed, and in the new charter, section 502, which was drafted by Judge Dominguez, the first line is municipal court shall be composed of 2 full-time elected judges. That's our constitution right now, is what it says. And according to the Texas Government Code, section 201.027 says, if a new office is created, a vacancy occurs on the effective date of that act. So now we have a vacancy. And specifically, Texas Government Code section 29.011, it says the governing body of the municipality, you all, shall be, by appointment, fill a vacancy in the office of municipal judge. So this is exactly on point for the remainder of the unexpired term. Now, we have a staggered, as was drafted and passed, we have a staggered process. Judge Dominguez, is up for in 2026. So stagger means 2024, which already passed, or 2028. So you have a vacancy now through 2028, and by law, I see that we need to fill it. You all need to fill it.
So, Mayor,
Yes, go
quick question. So are we ready do we have the funds for that position to be filled?
If I may,
I'm
real
asking
quickly,
management.
I believe that we're talking about the funds between now and September, because after that you'll have a new budget, right? So you're talking about.
Well, we're
funds
bringing it,
for-
we're bringing it right now, so that means we want to open it up, so you're asking for us, the council, to appoint. So you might as well, that means that we do have the funds ready to go and for that department.
Mayor and City Council, what you'll have to do is that we're gonna have to amend the budget to cover the expense of that, unless we're going to, well, and we can't do that, so I'm not even gonna talk about the unless. We're gonna have to amend to allow for the salary of this second judge, the elected position within there. Within the charter as well too, it talks about 2 associate judges, and we have 2, so that doesn't really change within the structure of that. But we have to, the appointment of the associate judge is now done by both judges. Before it was done by one was done by the judge, one was done by the city manager. The charter changed for that. So we will have to amend the budget in order to get there. I know that I have been having conversations with Judge Dominguez about amending our ordinance associated with the salary for the municipal judges and establish what that is. So that conversation will need to happen as well too, because in my mind, I would say we were going to set the salary of this judge appointment at the first term, because the idea was we would have a salary for the first term and a salary for the second term, if they had that ability. So that, or we can do one salary for all of it, but there was a model in my head for that, but that conversation's going on anyway. So currently, we would follow the ordinance as to what the salary of that municipal judge is, and it would be established in that manner with the appointment. But we would have to do a budget amendment.
My question, I go back to saying, do we have a start date of when we have to appoint? And we're gonna open it up right now. when are you gonna close it off? And by when do we have to
Yes, sir.
appoint?
Yes, sir.
And the salary, do we have the amount of that funds for that salary?
The
Do we?
salary, the budget will be amended, I believe that's the answer. As far as the timeframe, it says you have a new office, you have a vacancy now, you shall appoint now, right? Now, Mr. Valdez asked the city attorney's office to look at AG opinions, there's nothing inclusive there. You can wait all the way to 2028, but someone can also mandamus you and say you're failing your duties and you need to
I
appoint
don't know,
now.
I'm just not releasing the floor yet, give me a second.
So, again, we're proposing this process to you, 30 days to collect resumes and bring to you. You can change that process, it's just a matter of how do you appoint?
So have we reached out to the municipal court judges or the elected official that's working, there, the associate judges, asking them if there's any conversation with them? Have they seen any, because we're accepting applications, did we reach out to their associate judges saying, you know what, we're gonna apply for you, if you wanna apply, you're the one, right now, you're the ones that run this area, you know this department, you know what's going on. Have we reached out before we even open applications? Because it's an appointment.
If I may, we have not opened it, we're coming to you to ask you what process you want. If you want us to go, ask them, it's fine. And as soon as this passed, Judge Dominguez asked the city attorney's office to hold a meeting. We've held the meeting, he's called me, we've talked on the phone.
Mayor and City
So,
Council,
proceed.
the challenge we have with this is that there is no set process as to how this happens, other than we have a vacancy that needs to be filled. And so we're coming to you saying.
And I understand that,
Right.
Mr. Nibbs, but what I'm saying is that I feel if I would have been in Judge Dominguez's position or in his capacity right now, I'd be like, well, at least ask me who wants to be my colleague, and I'll give some recommendation. I'm not trying, he's gonna tell us what to do, but you have some recommendations, say, you know what, this gentleman right here has done, you can go out there and do something like that, but we haven't even reached out how the process is gonna go,
If I may,
Go ahead.
that could have done that, but the statute says that the government body does it, that's why we're asking you all. If you're telling me to go ask, Judge Dominguez, I certainly will, but out of respect to the law, I'm asking you.
Very good.
They have the moment from Mr. Judge.
All right, go ahead, Judge.
I'm the one that proposed the constitution or the charter the charter amendments as it was proposed to you in August when we came in and see if we put it for the voters. At that time, I was able to speak to you after going through a class of certified public manager. We did a paper and we wanted to see what is it that we wanted as a municipal court judge. Do we want it appointed or do we want it elected? And we came to a conclusion in doing the research and having surveys, talking to people, writing the paper, looking at the literature, and the people decided that it was better off if it was an elected position. The wording for the charter, that's why I think we do have a definite starting point when it says staggered. And for the reason that I'm saying it's definite is we have a position now that's coming up for an election in 2026. 2028 starts the second Laredo position 2. So we got position 1 coming up for an election this coming year, and then we got position number 2 that would come up in 2028. The will of the people, they wanted it elected. They wanted the position to be elected. So the way I read the charter, which is different than what he reads the charter, because there's a definite starting period here. It's staggered in the sense that the election that's coming up is in 2028. Him, by his own admission, by his own words, he said, this one passed in 2024, so this one starts in 2024. No, it didn't. We just passed the charter in 2024. Now, if we come in 2024 and ask you, I reached out to city manager and I reached out to legal in December when it passed. And I asked them, hey, we need to sit down and start working it out so it can pass. So see how is it that we're gonna do it. We need to house a new judge in an office comparable to the one here. So we got a logistic problem to begin with. Then we got the funding issue, but that's a management issue. That's not my issue. They need to find out where they can get the money and do it. Now, What I'm proposing to you is, I talked to the county attorney's office this afternoon, and I put the situation and a couple of issues before me, and he's willing to write to the attorney general and ask him for an opinion at this time, because we have conflicted things. The city attorney saying right now that we have a definite starting point and it's vacant and it should be filled immediately, and I'm saying the charter itself says it's being staggered. So we have a county attorney that's willing to write that letter for me as an elected official and ask and request, if we have the charter saying this, does it start here? Or does it go the way the city attorney saying that it's vacant now and one should be appointed, and then we do the process? And I don't have any problem having the process going. In fact, I would ask you, in the form of a motion to make, to allow the county attorney to write an opinion, to ask for a letter of opinion from the attorney general to see if it was definite or not definite. And if it's not definite, in the waiting period, you all can decide, this is the way we want to do it. Court, you're a stakeholder. EDMAC, it's your department. How is it that it runs, and how is it that the court, how is it that the judge is coming into and what he's going to be doing in order to see? Management, we'll sit down. Let's look at the building. This is how much it's going to cost us. And this is what it's going to do. In this time period, if something happens that it could be filled by the time the next budget comes around, either through an election, which can be in 2028 if it tells us, no, you can wait until 2028, or you can do it by special election, or you can do it by some. Let's see what opinion we get from them. And then we move forward. So I would recommend, if you all allow me to continue talking to the county attorney and asking for the attorney general opinion letter in order for.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, thank you so much, Judge. I do feel a little uncomfortable having the city ask the county attorney for.
They're the only requesters.
We have our city attorney here, and then if we want a second opinion, perhaps we can get our city manager.
No, and the reason I'm asking is, if you see who the requesters are, in order to make attorney general opinions, the city attorney is not listed as a requester. The city attorney usually goes, I ask a DA, the district attorney to do it, or the county attorney to do it in behalf of the city.
On a second note, Mayor, if I may, two-part statement here, is that there are vacancies all the time, and, you know, there are, in Texas and other states where vacancies happen, and legislative bodies or the governor in some instances appoint someone, and then at the next election, it's an elected, so it definitely happens, so I guess, do we need a second opinion?
Go ahead.
Well, in the amendment as written by Judge Dominguez, I didn't touch a thing. I didn't even touch the typos. So it says appointed or elected. It doesn't say only elected. And as far as the AG opinion goes, the AG opines on state law. They will not opine on municipal law. You can ask for all you want. It's going to come back with nothing.
It's going to come back with an opinion. I've seen them. I read opinions where the city's requesting some type of a definite, especially when there's either governing body saying, "This is my term. My term's up. We're extending the terms. Does this apply to me?" It depends what type of an election. They'll tell you it's an election law type of issue, and they'll answer it. And this is a type where we have a definite starting point. It's staggered, and we have one already in place, which is coming up for an election. The other one hasn't been come up for election. And those are the reasons that I'm asking for, under that opinion, under the election law, which is state law, correct?
We're interpreting municipal charter.
Is it election law?
No.
Does election law,
It's your
does the
charter.
election, does
It's
the
the charter you wrote.
Does the election law,
It's the charter you wrote,
does
sir.
the Vernon's election law trump the charter?
No, sir. If you have written
Oh, the election
2028
code doesn't trump the charter?
If you wrote
Yeah.
phased in, it'd be different.
Okay, let's hold off a little bit.
Mayor
We
and
need
City
to
Council,
get to the bottom of
please be aware that within that as well too, our legal advice has to come from our city attorney. I don't mean that in a bad way or anything, because the judge is an attorney as well too. But I think that we can go through, at least run through some additional exercise on this. We don't need a decision tonight then, but be aware that based upon the city attorney is that we believe this position will have to be appointed for that term, the remainder of this term, which is almost 4 years. But I'm happy to walk through it a little bit farther, but I would ask that, give the direction that we get any other definitive information. But I would recommend always following the city attorney's opinion.
Okay.
For this.
Mayor,
Who was first?
I have the mic.
Who was
I
first?
have the mic.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge Dominguez, what is the workload right now at the municipal court? And currently, do you see the need for a second judgeship? I mean, are we walking into this, because the item was in charter, so, are we walking into this because of a great need that exists right now? Or was it more future-looking, trying to set the city up for the
Remember when I came in, I said, look, the city has been growing. Everything's been growing except certain departments. This is something more for the future, and that's why I was thinking it was gonna happen in 2028, after the election in 2026. And then 2028 would come in, and then it would start revving itself. Right now, the caseload, the police department and other departments with court enforcement and some city, some school police departments, I think we end up getting close to 5,400, 5,700 cases filed a month there.
Is that a heavy workload, or is that a workload that's manageable?
Mr. Lawyer, what do you think?
With what we currently have?
Okay, you see, there's the answer I wanted. It's your court, sir. Okay? I want to be involved in the process. It's not fair for us to be left out when they say, we want this, and in 30 days this. Look, let me tell you what it is to be an elected official. And you all know, you have to give up a sacrifice. Us, as lawyers, we have to give up our private practice. It's here in the charter. Within 30 days, you're going to have people apply and say, I'm going to apply in the next 30 days, and in the next 30 days, I'm going to bring you a resume. I'm going to bring you no resumes, and you'll decide from all these people. All these people have to make life-changing decisions. It's not a 30-day process to begin with. People need to look at what's going to happen with their practice. And there's succession, and there's ways of giving up a practice. They just done, I want, I'm out, and leave everything else behind. That's not the way it happens. This is real life.
Yes.
I want this court, in order for it to be, I want it to work. That was the whole purpose of it, so it can be a workable court, and it be something that we do correctly, not in the haste of the matter that we need to do it in the next 30 days. If they would have consulted since December, the way we've been sitting, yes, of course, I talked to Mr. Neb about salaries and talk about raises and talk about all these things, but I've been talking to him for the past year about it, and he knows. That's the conversations. When I reached out to management. I reached out to legal in December about this issue. Joaquin was the one that showed up, and then Zone, because he was in a meeting, showed up. Management canceled. They said, it's not us. It doesn't belong, that's not in our purview. So I've been dealing with them. And at that time, I explained to them what was my opinion. He had his opinion, I guess. And then all of a sudden, it just jumps up as an agenda item.
Right. So I have a question for Mr. Nguyen.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So there's been a change in the charter, and the city agreed to have two courts running. It just seems to me that to have the time to develop and establish these courts, it makes sense how Judge Dominguez is explaining it. I understand that the argument is that the language perhaps indicates something else, but is there room in that interpretation to also accept this interpretation that it is a staggered term? Because when we're talking about setting up an elected court, the assumption is, well, you need time to call for that election instead of it being something that happens in 30 days. I just see value in allowing council to be able to find that money, budget that money, and the court to be developed while we're waiting for an election to occur, which I think was the intent of that item.
Absolutely, Councilmember. My point is that, no, all due respect to the judge, I can't let him dictate this. This is your decision, but if you want to follow his lead and his suggestions, that's absolutely fine, but to me, it has to come from you all. Fair enough?
If I may?
Go ahead,
Fair
Councilman.
enough, yeah.
I do agree that the council is gonna be the ultimate decider of this. I do think a month is a little bit rushed, and I understand that there's there's been a change and we wanna, comply with, the direction that the citizens voted for us to take the city. I think that the more fiscally responsible way to go here would be to open up the process for applications and let people know that there's a vacancy, fill it during the October budget, have that budgeted for the new upcoming budget, and then prepare for a space on the ballot for an election at the next election, which would be maybe 2025, when the next March primaries are.
This is.
Put it on the, hold on, Judge, I'm not done.
I hear you.
So, I think we can work towards an election, because I do agree that an elected is probably better for the city to have the citizens decide. But I think in following with our city attorney's recommendation, we want to show good faith effort that we're trying to fill the position as soon as possible and not leave a vacancy for too much time. Since we didn't have this budgeted, I do think the more responsible thing is set this up for an appointment to be decided and to begin in the new budget cycle. That's my recommendation.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, I also agree that what Judge Dominguez is making sense, but unfortunately, the way the charter amendment passed, it says appointed or elected. Therefore, we now have the responsibility to fulfill that. We didn't have this conversation in advance and have it written out perfectly, where we said it was going to be a 2028 election. So unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. So now I think we're forced to get this position filled, this vacancy filled, and then it's like our Constitution. We can't just say, oh, we wish we would have written it differently. And the people voted on it already, but we wish we would have clarified it in advance. But it's a great idea, but that's not what actually passed.
And the reason that language is there, Dr. King, is this is the reason why it's there. It's through a vacancy that is caused by the person either leaving to another office, or a person resigning from that position, or the person dying. And then it defaults to the vacancy of the state, because we don't have anything in charter but that it's an appointment, because that's what the state law is. So that's why the appointment would kick in. It's all, if you look at it, it goes for what happens at the beginning, which all we wanted was the position to be elected. We want the will of the people to happen. That's why we're elected, not appointed. And I understand what the law is, and I understand, but it's a definite, for me, it's a definite position, and it's definite when I said staggered, because I'm the one that, like Mr. Nguyen said, he drafted it, exactly, and this is exactly what I wanted, and this is exactly what I presented. It was something for the future. It wasn't something right after the election, let's get it started. That wasn't the whole intent behind this. Now, if there's a different interpretation, where she's looking at a different interpretation, well, let's get an Attorney General opinion. I already said, the county attorney is willing to write that letter to the Attorney General, and they will give us an opinion on election law. They will give us an opinion if it's a vacancy that needs to be filled either through an appointment or through an election, and if it's the election, when is the starting date? But for me, it's already a definite date. Now, in the process, while we're waiting for that letter, we can continue and be involved in seeing if it is a vacancy that needs to be filled immediately by you all. Well, the process has already started, at least. But it's something to discuss. What is it that we're going to be involved in?
My question would be to Mr. Nguyen. If, let's say, we appoint, how long would the appointment be? For how long?
It would constitute this person's first term, because the judges only serve 2 terms.
So it will be for 4 years?
So it'll be from now until 2028, when we have the election begin that cycle.
Okay, and another question is, are you able to contact Attorney General? Instead of going through the county, can we do it, or can you do it and contact the Attorney General and get an opinion from Attorney General?
Okay, if I may, I'm just gonna play it out. The Attorney General's not going to interpret our charter, right, 'cause that's municipal law. Attorney General can interpret the state law, but these are two we're talking about. A new office created when vacancy occurs, on the effective date of the act. And the second one is, the governing body shall appoint the municipal judge, you know. Those are, I don't know how else they would interpret it. And I never have a problem with other people's interpretation. I never, if I may, I don't ask you to follow my interpretation. I'm saying this is how the law reads. If someone reads it differently and they're right, I'll follow that. I have no problems. It's not just an interpretation. It's just what it reads, and it's not ambiguous.
But it's an interpretation for me.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
So my question, Judge Dominguez, is to Mr. Nguyen. So you did say that you are able to accept this interpretation to allow the elected position to begin in 2028? And I say that because I want it to be legal, obviously, but on council, we do have fiscal responsibility. And if we do not have a court that is in dire need of the judgeship at this point in time, then I don't see why we would not allow a process to more slowly move forward, assuming it's legal with charter, that allows us to establish this court, budget properly for a salary that will be an additional salary to this court system, and allow us to develop this according to the pace of our growth, instead of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. If we have the freedom legally to do it, I think it makes sense for us to step back. Fiscally, it makes sense for us to do that and just move more slowly
If I may,
and meet charter.
Yeah, go ahead.
the process has not started. That's why we're here, to ask you to start. And I gotta give credit to Mr. Valdez. It was his idea, and I think it was the right idea to come to you as opposed to me coming up with something. But you can wait all the way to 2028. The risk is that someone may sue us and say, you know, you all are not exercising your requirements. But at the same time, we looked at AG opinions. There's no set date for when exactly you shall appoint. So I think you have time. The 30 days is something I believe that number probably came out of my head.
So the 30 days, I'm sorry, the 30 days is from your.
Just my head. I just pull it out. Just
So
we
To
get
develop a process.
collect some resumes for you. But if you want longer, I believe that's reasonable.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Mayor, I want to make a motion to accept opening up the applications, to receive application, but at the same time to see if we can accept, not to see, to accept the Judge Dominguez going out and asking for his opinion to the Attorney General to bring it in, and then from there we can do an exception or we can do an appointment, and it's up to the council if we want to do it.
Motion second.
Could you come back to us with a process while we wait for the Attorney General's
The Attorney General and, I'm sorry,
opinion?
have the Attorney General, and we're already opening it for the process. Let's say the council doesn't accept, we're already going through the process, but we have at least something from the Attorney General, and he can go by, the judge can go by out of his own will, do what he's gotta do, and that's it.
So, yeah, go ahead. There's a motion. Yeah,
Mayor, if I may?
discussion, go ahead.
I don't agree with the Attorney General opinion. I don't think we need that. I think that it's up to us, and if there's a discrepancy on when the election should be held, or if there should be an election, I think that we could discuss that. But I do agree with opening it up for applications, maybe 120 days, you know, give us enough time to collect applications, set the time so that it's sufficient, and then work towards an election. I don't see an issue with even having both positions available in 2026 on the ballot. You know, at the end of the day, if the will is for the public to vote, that's fine also. We could have somebody appointed in the interim, but I don't think we need an opinion from the Attorney General on this.
Mayor, and it's not just to get the Attorney General, it's just to have that clarification, you know, to have that clarification for myself, and that's something I'm asking. I hope the council agrees with it, so we can have the clarification if it was meant to. Say was it said in the charter, and because I went through that process as well. And it's something that if we have that Attorney General conversation, it would be something that maybe it would change our minds or say, you know what, this is what the intent of what they're trying to say. And that's the reason I'm asking and requesting that we go and we vote that way.
Mayor,
Who was first, you?
just, I want to ask Zona a question, I'm trying to play this out. If we were to appoint someone in 120 days, let's say, would we have the flexibility to set a special election sometime, let's say during, like Councilmember Pettis said, during the March primaries, for example, and have a special election be latched onto that to finish out the remainder of what would be a 4-year term, which would go all the way till 2028, and then they would start from scratch in 2028.
I would say that it's silent on it. All it says in
Keep it
the
staggered.
charter is it's staggered, so it'd be 2028 and.
Well, 26 and 28.
And the state laws say you appoint in the meantime, but if you want a special election, which costs a little more, but if that's what you want, I believe that can be done.
But like, we could do an appointment now, a special election, let's say, next year.
For $150,000 or something, yes.
Or what if it's latched onto another election?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it wouldn't be $150,000 if it's latched onto another election.
Sure, do that.
And then finish out the term, the staggered term, and then in 28 we start from scratch. That's a possibility, yeah.
Mayor, well,
Yeah.
there's a motion on the floor, and I think we already called for this, there was a second, and
Yes.
I don't know, let's just call for the question.
Yeah, we have a
Mayor,
motion.
I'd like to
Hold
offer
on.
an amendment, if I may.
You have to do amendment?
If I may. I'd like to, because, going to the Attorney General to get the opinion, I think if we're opening it up before we receive the opinion, then we run the risk of what Judge Dominguez was referring to, of candidates who maybe we're not gonna get the best candidates because they know we're waiting for the Attorney General opinion, and they may not choose to put in until we receive the opinion. So what if we ask for the opinion and the motion is set so that when it returns, if it is positively for this, we can move on and open up the position. But I think we get ahead of ourselves if we act without waiting for that opinion.
All right, we have an initial motion.
I just have to, I can add one more thing, sorry.
Can you read the initial motion, please?
The motion was to accept, open it up and accept applications for the second judge and request for an attorney general opinion.
All right, and the amendment.
To accept or explore the general opinion towards the council.
All right, that was the amendment.
Yes.
And so my amendment was to hold
And
open
I think
until.
we should open it at the same time, so I gotta, decline your amendment.
Sorry, so we're still questioning, so I'm asking to see if, and Zone, you can answer this, or anybody can answer this, do we have to accept the Attorney General's opinion? Because you just said that the municipal, if they don't govern municipalities, why are we asking the Attorney General's opinion on this?
Well, honestly, I don't think the AG is going to give an opinion on our charter because it's outside of the Attorney General's scope. But the Attorney General will probably give an opinion on the state law, by all means.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Clarification question.
Go ahead.
I understand your stance, but this is a new position. So it would be ideal to get some guidance. Like, this is a new, it's not.
By all means, but if it comes back with something, it comes back with something.
Oh, absolutely, and that, I mean, I think there's.
And again, to be honest, when I first read this, I thought maybe y'all appoint one of the associate judges in the meantime, and then it will be done. So you have, 2 people to pick from, but it's up to you if you want to appoint now or you want a process, but at least, it's your process.
Can we appoint an associate judge now?
You can appoint an associate judge now to run until 2028, and that'd be pretty clean.
I would
All right,
amend
Meg.
to appoint,
Direct the chair, please. Direct the chair. Go
how
ahead.
many years have you been there, Mr. Juan?
I've been at the municipal court for about 6 years now.
6 years?
Yes.
So if you accept my amendment, if we can appoint.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Well, I have seconded this amendment to accept Mr. Weil, Mr.
That's not an amendment,
Mr. Oh, so now you're changing my motion.
All right, so you rescind your previous
I rescind
amendment.
I rescind my original motion and accept Mr. Gonzalez's motion to, appoint Mr. Davila,
Yes.
Mr. Weil Davila as the other judge.
All right. Okay. Let's read it out again so it won't be confused. Read everything.
His motion is to appoint, Mr. Davila as the, judge.
And the original motion was?
Well, he rescinded his motion. Here's his,
That's the only motion on the
he
floor.
rescinded his, motion, Mayor.
Okay, and you had a question?
So those,
No?
I
Okay,
had a question on that.
all right, go ahead.
So the question goes, see if I got this correctly, so we're totally eliminating the number 30 out of the picture. We're just removing it completely and we're going after, the amended version that they're putting right now. So in that amended version, we should eliminate the fact that interested and, must submit letters of interest and a resume consideration on this process.
I believe that the motion on the floor is just to appoint, Judge Davila.
Yes, but so that means number 30 as it's written here is out of the way.
Well, number 30 is not out of the way. He wants to fill a vacancy. He's asking you guys, the governing body, we need the process. But if the process is his motion at this time to appoint Judge Davila as the position number 2, and there's a second, then you can move forward on it, correct?
Right. And he would fill it until 2028.
All right.
When he's
And
elected.
it'll be an unexpired term. No, it isn't an expired term.
Yes.
And then it'll be 2, and then he'll be able to run for 2 more terms.
All right.
No, if I may, you wrote that if you serve any term, it counts as a term. So that.
Yeah, but not when it's unexpired. When you look at state law, when you look at state, no, but this is the whole deal about the election law. When you look at election law,
don't think
and
we
it
should be
defaults toward the election law,
considering anything.
it's an unexpired term.
complicated.
If something happens in the unexpired term, even though the same, we have the same language as city council here, city council here.
Mayor.
It's an unexpired term.
Motion to table the item, please.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed, motion passes.
They moved the table. They moved the table.
Yeah, it's table.
Yeah,
Wait.
It's table, Larry.
I don't like to vote on things I'm gonna know what's going that fast.
Table, yeah. All right, okay.
Okay, one against table.
All right,
You called me? Mr. Nev, you called me?
all right.
Okay, start the agenda now.
Public,
All right.
public hearings, Mayor.
Next item, where were we?
Mayor,
Motion
public
to open a
hearings.
public hearing here of the ordinances.
Okay. Motion? Any second?
Guys, I need a second for opening a public hearing.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Team just steps out.
Public hearings.
I can go ahead and
Okay, I'm sorry, public hearing, number 1, public hearing and introductory ordinance amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by authorizing a special use permit for a tobacco shop on lot 2A, block 823, Eastern Division, located at 1414 North Meadow Avenue, suite number 4, 1,200 square feet. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the proposed zone change, and staff does not support the application. 2, public hearing introductory ordinance amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning lot 2A, block 823, Eastern Division, located at 1414 North Meadow Avenue from B1 Limited Business District to B3 Community Business District. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denial of the proposed zone change. Staff does not support the application. 3, public hearing and introductory ordinance amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 5.9 acres as further described by meets and bounds and attached Exhibit A, located north of Wormser Road and west of Cuatro Vientos Road from R1A Single Family Reduced Area District to B1 Limited Business District. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denial of the proposed zone change, and staff did not support the application. 4, authorizing the city manager to execute a lease agreement between the city of Laredo and I-35 Church for a property located at 1705 East Hillside, Laredo, Texas 78041, legally described as a building of approximately 15,483. Lease term shall be for 5 years, commence on April 1, 2025. Tenant is hereby granted 2 options to extend this lease for an additional 5 years per option upon mutual written agreement between parties. The monthly rent shall be $4,189 and will be adjusted annually according to changes in the Consumer Price Index CPI, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. 5, authorizing the city manager to execute a lease agreement between the city of Laredo and I-35 Church for a property located at 1720 East Hillside, Laredo, Texas 78041, legally described as a building number 2075 for approximately 8,184 square feet. Lease term shall be for 5 years, commencing on April 1, 2025. Tenant is hereby granted 2 options to extend this lease for an additional 5 years per option upon mutual written agreement between parties. The monthly rent shall be $5,000 and will be adjusted annually according to the changes in the Consumer Price Index CPI, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
All right. Number 1, for or against, for or against, for or against.
Yes, Mr. Vidal.
For the record, Rafael Vidal with Planning Department. I just wanted to ask that if public hearing number 2 could be considered first, as item number 1 is dependent on number 2.
All right. Okay, let's start with number 2. Number 2, for or against, for or against, for or against.
Motion to close and introduce as written as a denial.
Motion?
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
If we go with the planning and zoning recommendation on discrepancy, so if the close and introduce or would be to approve.
The recommendation is to accept the planning and zoning commission to recommend denial. So motion to close and introduce as presented.
Denied? As denied?
Yes.
Denied.
2.
Number 2. All right.
I'll second that.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Then it jumps over to number 1, right?
Then
We'll go with number 1. For or against, for or against, for or against.
Mayor, may I?
Go ahead.
I'd like to just make a recommendation to management. So we have an item number, which is incorrectly listed here as number 1, that is dependent, a hypothetical on number 2. Now that number 2 has been denied, number 1 no longer has any bearing on, we don't have a decision to make. So in the future, I would like to ask if you could see if the planning and zoning could separate out these items so that we don't have hypotheticals listed in the same agenda.
Mayor,
It's
and
only 2 weeks.
Council, I would agree that we need to do that better.
Thank you.
All right.
We can provide a little bit of clarification. What ended up happening is that the delays in the meeting, the second one caught up to the first one, and that's how they both ended up together.
Thank you.
Because of all the delays that occurred. So just wanted to be transparent in how it happened.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Number 1 then. It's moved.
All right.
So there's,
That cancels out?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no vote.
No action on number 1.
No action.
Mayor, no action on number 1.
No action, number 1. Cancel out. Number 3, for or against, for or against, for or against.
Number 3 is mine, so we've, not, planning. So there's nobody against today?
Pardon me?
No, I was trying to see if there's nobody against the audience. So we had meetings here, with the planning and management and the owner there. And, prior to this, I know Joaquin, is Joaquin here?
Go ahead, I can answer.
Okay, well, recently the idea is that the best we can do to Wormser Road, it's been on conversations with the county and us for over 2 years, and the city already grew all around it. And the only best solution there would be to make it into an actual road. This was brought to us, last council meeting, that solution, that idea. So with that, it would alleviate traffic from coming in the community, and it would open up Wormser to Cuatro Vientos. So with that, I would like to, close and introduce on public hearing number 3.
Second.
All right,
Second.
second, all in
Sorry,
favor?
Mayor, can I get clarification?
Yes,
on
go
that?
ahead. Before we.
You're approving the denial?
No, okay, well, then I don't want to approve the denial. I want to pass it, correct, yes. Thank you for that, Councilman.
All right.
So, we don't close and introduce, or?
We need to go.
Deny the recommendation of planning and zoning?
Yeah,
And
Okay, do we have
Close and
for or
introduce,
against?
planning with all due respect, and the commission, I know, with recent conversations with legal and stuff, that Wormser is gonna alleviate the situation here in that,
So
property.
the motion is to accept, and you no longer need a supermajorities, he's just a
Mayor.
majorities to accept.
If I could just might add. What I'm, I agree with Councilman Gonzalez on opening up the Wormser Road. It will alleviate a lot of traffic from District 1 and District 2. There's a lot of, there's a school there, Zachary, which gets congested in the morning because it's the overgrown of development that's coming in. We only have one entrance, which is Ejido. That's our entrance, that's the exit and entrance, and then we got Loma del Sur. They gotta travel all the way to Loma del Sur and to get to through Ejido. And if we open up Wormser Road to another road for Cuatro Vientos to connect with Cuatro Vientos, I think that would alleviate a lot of traffic. So I support Councilman Gonzalez's decision and opening it up for a road. So, yes.
Rafa.
I have a, yes,
You're at the chair.
thank you. So, so with the planning, the item as this was listed in, with the documents that support it, it did make mention of personal storage use for the landowner. The language was awkward, and it made it seem as if it was a personal use for just the singular landowner instead of a mini storage unit complex for public use or as a small business.
Right, the eventual goal is for them to come in for mini storage. That's what they're.
Right, and I would ask that you review that language as it was presented in the supporting documents, so to make that a little bit more clear.
And if I may, to provide a little bit of background, so right now, the segment of Wormser Road between Ejido and the Loop is currently under the purview of the county, is currently outside the city limits. And right now, if you were to visit the roadway today, it is barricaded, so it is not opened. There have been some discussions about potentially abandoning that roadway, but I know that that is something the county has been working on. Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's inside the city limits. We move the city around Wormser. It's in city limits. It's not outside city limits.
And if I may, Council Joaquin Rodriguez, if I may,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor. So there's a lot of situations that can happen with this piece of land, but if for whatever reason the county were to abandon it, or if, let's say, the city believed in its wisdom that this road is gonna be necessary for anything in that area, the only thing that the city could do would be to make that a road. To make it a road.
But, just for the record, it's in the city limits. It's not in the county limits.
It's in the county limits, the city is going around it.
So it's a strip of road
yeah.
that hasn't been annexed, but everything around it is
Around
city.
it is city.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and I, also, I know that the owner right now has the zoning to make apartments and all that. I do want to remind the neighbors that storages are a little bit more quieter, especially if in the future there's we do the road there. It'll be a lot better, for that community. Yeah.
All right. Okay, do we have a motion?
Thanks,
Motion second.
A motion to allow the zoning change to occur.
Yes.
Is that what the motion is?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next one is number 4. 4 or against, 4 or against, 4 or against.
Motion to close and introduce?
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, for or against, for or against, for or against.
Motion to close and introduce.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Motion to approve third and final reading, number 6.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion second. Motion passed.
Mayor, motion to approve final reading of ordinances, 7 through, no, 7 through, yeah, 27?
Second.
7 through 27?
Yes.
Okay. Motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Motion open consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Motion to approve, I'm sorry, go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Motion to approve number 28 and 29.
Motion?
Second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Motion to approve number 31, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. That's my motion, Mayor.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion open to staff reports, number 61.
Motion. Second. All in favor?
Anything
Opposed?
to report from the auditor?
Motion passes.
Anything to report from the auditor?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. For the record, Tina Rodriguez, Internal Auditor. I am here to present for your approval the car wash contract service review that was submitted to you via the past two Friday packets. The car wash contract services disclose that overall the payable process implemented by the Fleet Department complies with city policy and controls are in place.
All right. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion for approval.
Thank you. Number 62.
62.
The Laredo Rising Initiative. Anybody?
Mayor, do we need a motion to extend the meeting?
I think we're gonna finish.
Well, we might finish.
That's hustle. Second.
Let's hustle. Okay. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
This is 63, Mr. Knapp?
I'm sorry, 63 Laredo Rising,
Laredo Rising, 62.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Perfect, thank you. Okay.
62.
or 62? Yeah. 62. Yes, I'm gonna handle this one, Mayor, and I'll go as quickly as I can for this, but, good evening, Mayor Trevino and Laredo City Council. I'm excited to introduce you to Laredo Rising, our city's new initiative designed to revitalize neighborhoods, improve clarity, safety, and enhance community well-being. Laredo Rising is a comprehensive initiative aimed at revitalizing our neighborhoods, strengthening public safety, and enhancing community well-being. Portions of this program have been tried in Laredo in the past, and it follows the concepts of the broken window theory, which was actually explained in 1982 and remains relevant today. The broken windows theory states that visible signs of disorder and misbehavior in an environment encourage further disorder and misbehavior, leading to serious crimes. The principle was developed to explain the decay of neighborhoods. Laredo Rising Initiative focuses on strategic investment, code enforcement, and community engagement to create sustainable change in struggling areas. Essentially, Laredo Rising will combine city resources, interdepartmental collaboration, and community engagement to reclaim and rebuild areas in need. Laredo Rising is not just a beautification effort, it is a citywide strategy for reclaiming and restoring neighborhoods. By leveraging multiple city resources, we aim to eliminate crime hotspots improve infrastructure, and increase resident participation in keeping our city safe and thriving. This initiative works by identifying neighborhoods in distress based upon specific triggers: crime rates, infrastructure decline, and economic challenges. Once a target area is selected, we deploy a cross-department task force to address key issues through enforcement, repairs, and community engagement. Our approach ensures a long-term impact, not just temporary fixes. Laredo Rising is about taking action in areas that need it the most. By combining public safety measures, code enforcement, revitalization efforts, we intend to transform struggling neighborhoods back into thriving communities. Again, this is not just about fixing roads or cleaning up trash. It is about creating a sustainable, livable environment for our residents. The initiative is structured in 4 key phases: assessment and data collection, strategic deployment, resident involvement, and monitoring and evaluation. Our city departments will be leading the charge. Laredo Rising is a team effort, and it's going to require the coordination across multiple departments. We are utilizing some of the key roles are code enforcement and building, public works and infrastructure, solid waste and environmental services, police and fire departments, community development, and health services. Laredo also needs your help as elected officials. The City Council support is critical to the success of Laredo Rising. We'll need your assistance in community engagement, policy and resource allocation, stakeholder partnerships. The city has chosen the 1700 block of Lincoln Street as our first neighborhood for the Laredo Rising based upon multiple factors. Recent police activity resulted in over 11 arrests related to narcotics and criminal activity in this area. The area faces significant infrastructure challenges with deteriorating roads, inadequate lighting, and neglected properties. This is a perfect test case for Laredo Rising. It has clear needs, but also strong potential for transformation. The police department's recent after-action report highlighted the urgent need for intervention. Some of the key issues were the crime and safety risks, infrastructure neglect, community struggles. With Laredo Rising, we will address these problems holistically, combining enforcement with revitalization. Let me start by extending my deepest sympathy, gratitude to the Texas Anti-Gang Center and to our Laredo Police Department for their dedicated efforts in keeping our streets safe. Their hard work has led to the apprehension of over 11 individuals who were preying on our community and bringing harm to our neighborhoods. This area has been a hotspot for crime, but through strong enforcement, strategic revitalization, and community engagement, we are taking it back. This is exactly why 1700 Lincoln Street was chosen as the pilot neighborhood for the Laredo Rising initiative, because we refuse to let crime, blight, and neglect define our city. Together, we are reclaiming Laredo one neighborhood at a time. I'll go through a few of these. These are some of the pictures of the properties within the area that we are intending to identify. The Laredo Police Department Compliance Response Team conducted a post-narcotics investigation which resulted in those multiple arrests and drug seizures. They identified key problem properties that require immediate intervention. The recommendations include increased lighting and sidewalk repairs to improve safety, strict code enforcement to address property neglect, heavy trash cleanups to remove the debris and deter further crime, as you can tell, we have some serious properties here that need a lot of attention. This is what happened in one of the properties where they did their work. Program actions in 1700 Lincoln Street neighborhood. The crime reduction and safety measures. We are intending to go in, we're going to do the evaluation, enhance street lighting, and increase law enforcement visibility. We're gonna look at neighborhood watch programs to help encourage resident-led safety efforts. We need our people to help us. Infrastructure and property compliance will be a big part of this. Code enforcement will be inspecting all properties within the 4-block radius of this 1700 Lincoln Street, and they're going to enforce compliance. Unsafe buildings will be tagged for removal or repair. Community services and engagement. The city will host 2 outreach events to educate our residents on available resources, job training, housing assistance, social services will all be provided. This initiative is modeled after successful revitalization efforts in cities across the country. Some of the key success factors that we've seen in other cities: data-driven neighborhood selection, multi-agency collaboration and efficiency, strong in community engagement for sustainability. This is a proven strategy. By investing in Laredo Rising, we create a template for future success within the city. It comes at a cost, but I think it's well worth it. The estimated budget for this pilot project is $320,000. This is covering infrastructure repairs of over $70,000, which will include road patching, lighting improvements, minimal enhancements such as sidewalk replacement and actually additional sidewalks where we can place them. A lot of the funding will begin to code enforcement and compliance, the inspections, compliance efforts, and selective demolitions within the area. Trash removal and cleanup. One major cleanup is planned, and graffiti removal throughout the area. Public safety and community engagement, which includes police support, outreach programs, and event funding. We're going to add in some project administration contingency just to ensure the smooth execution and covering unforeseen costs. Funding will come from a mix of city budget allocations, current budget allocations right now. We're also going to try to see if we have any state or federal grants that we can lean upon, and potential private partnerships.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Neff, you're talking about $320,000 here. We were just discussing a municipal court judge at a salary of $140,000. It's approximately what they make. Where do you see these monies coming from? This wasn't budgeted for this year, was it?
No, these are going to be monies that we are going to try to find within our current budget structure. I want to give you the idea because we're out there fixing streets all the time. We're out there fixing different things. What I expect is that if we have to go in and utilize code enforcement on the buildings, I'm assuming that we can put a lien onto the property and get that money back as well too, within some form or fashion of this. This is all money that would be coming out of the departments themselves. It's just a focused attack on this neighborhood.
To rehab it and then sell it?
Essentially, that would be the intent, and put it back into use. So, what I think we will find as we go through the inventory of who owns the buildings, I think we have absentee landlords. I mean, you can see the condition of some of these properties. More than likely, absentee landlords mean that they are not local landlords, so we can't get our hands on them as well too. Our challenge is that if we leave it sit there, that is where the rats run. And the idea is to eliminate the ability for the rats to have any location where they can set up camp. And so the idea is that we will go in there and we will selectively, essentially utilize our property maintenance procedures that we currently have in place for us, and we will go out and enforce to make them safe buildings. If we can get compliance, we always want to do the compliance. If we don't get compliance, then the city will initiate a lien system where we will tear down that structure ourselves. We have the ability to do that, and we will remove it out of there. Laredo has done it, but on a very limited scale because it's a very expensive proposition. But I cannot find another way that we are going to make the difference in some of these neighborhoods that need the help without our commitment into making this happen. And so I'm kind of cautioning you on the $320,000 right now. I think this is something that we're going to be able to handle on our own within our current budget system. But if it looks like it's going to be more costly, or we're going to need to come back, I wanted to make sure I did this report with you so that you understand what we're going out to try to make happen. And then, as we learn and we explore what we can get done and what we can manage and everything else, then we'll adjust accordingly as well too.
And the cost that we encumber on this, and the owners of the property, if they're still alive and able to be located, then they'll reimburse the city for what we invested
The
into it?
intent is that there's two different things. What we hope to do is create a collaboration where they will help us get through this. I've worked with a different program, very similar. We called it Clean and Safe at that point in time. And we would go in there and we would assist the property owner with either our solid waste fees for disposable of all this crap that's out there, different ways of getting that done. If we do not get compliance, then we will go out there and we will do our action as a city. We will place a lien on the we will tear it down. We will place a lien on the property to recollect at any point in time. Essentially, we will lock that property down.
But tear it down even though it's been rehabbed?
Oh, if it's been rehabbed, we're all good.
Okay.
If it complies and it is brought up to the standard,
But
the
then it's given back to the owner rehabbed?
Huh?
And it's given back to the owner rehabbed?
If the owner rehabs it.
No, because for what you're showing here is that we're gonna rehab the properties.
No, we will not rehab the property. Generally,
Let's clean them
what happens with us, I believe we can in Texas, we could go in and actually salvage some of these properties. We still would put a lien on the property if we rehabbed it.
Okay.
But the problem is, I would argue some of these, it'll cost more to rehab than ever to bulldoze.
That was my next point.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very
And
much.
so
Appreciate it.
so the intent is we will look at the code enforcement when they go out there and they do the full investigation of that. We will determine the value of that. I believe with our property maintenance code that we do have, we have the ability to go in there and actually renovate if we wish to do that. I just know that a lot of these pictures really kind of show you there's probably limited ways of salvaging.
Mayor, if I may.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
So is this like a way for us to kind of tackle our vacant buildings?
Yes.
In a roundabout kind of way? And then I would assume, which could be probably correct or incorrect, that the reason why their property looks like that is that they can't afford to fix it. So if that's the case and we put a lien, are we going to be pursuing foreclosure on these properties if they don't pay? I mean, because I know the city doesn't really foreclose on like taxes, so we kind of have a non-foreclosure. Are we basically looking at properties that are vacant and dilapidated, fixing it up, or finding them, putting a lien, and then trying to take their property away? Is that kind of what we're trying to do?
Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor, if I may, we want to do this in the most collaborative way possible. The problem is that when you look at these pictures and everything, I guess, I don't know if they're just sitting on this property because they can't afford it, or in some cases, they may not even know they own it anymore. In some cases, there's a lot of different things. All I know is that because when we picked this area, 11 people were housing themselves in these properties to sell drugs to our neighborhoods. And so the idea is that the broken window theory says if you have this stuff there, it breeds more stuff. That's the whole mentality of it.
Mayor, if I can?
Yeah. So,
well, Mr. Neff, just, I mean, I understand the broken window theory, but if we want to tackle abandoned buildings, I'm all for that, but we have an ordinance in place for that. We have a process for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't we follow, or is that what we're following, the ordinance?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We are what I'm saying is that I think we have some tools that we have not used well. And I believe that those tools can be utilized for that. In my mind, I think that at times some of this gets a little heavy-handed, but this is what happens if we don't follow through with saying enough's enough for what that is. And I would rather have the police department not work that hard for a lot of this stuff as well too. And so I think that we'll be able to show you the value of that. But I am saying exactly what you have said before as well too, is that let's use our ordinances to our advantage. for our community's advantage. I feel bad for anybody that lives in this neighborhood that felt uncomfortable with what they were living around.
Right.
And I think that we can take this on and do it better. And I'm very optimistic about this, and I would like to have you trust me on this because it has worked well in other locations. It is not inexpensive to do, but I think that you start to see neighborhoods revitalize themselves if we just kind of provide that catalyst.
Well, and so the goal is to start with basically downtown area. And then,
well,
are we moving into,
yeah.
Cause I know that we have building where they do look for these
yeah.
abandoned structures for demolition. Are we focusing all of our efforts in this location
No,
now?
and Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for that, because let me go back over that as well too. Within the Laredo Rising, what we are utilizing as our trigger and our catalyst are, and you've seen the map from Chief Rodriguez, the hotspots, the crime hotspots. We're not just using the poverty rates. We're not just using these different things. What we're doing here and what we're working with the PD is that these are crime hotspots where there are people preying on our neighborhoods. And so we're going to utilize the crime hotspots. We're going to step in. We're going to remove them out of that. Have them go live in San Antonio. I don't care. But get them out of here and let our people have a good neighborhood again. And that's the idea. And some of this it took me a while to kind of build this whole model with talking with all of our departments and everything. Our departments are excited to have this happen. And this is something that I think you have all been asking for because you said we've got so many good laws and so many good pieces out there. Let us put it to work. Let us go out there and make that difference. And so I think that's what we're hoping to do.
Mayor, if I can?
Yes, go ahead.
So, I mean, I just think that if we're gonna do this and we're gonna do the lien thing, that we shouldn't not foreclose, cause right now we have like a non-foreclosure policy where we put liens when we don't foreclose. Cause if we're just gonna put a lien and we're not gonna foreclose or pursue it, ultimately people are gonna end up losing their properties over this. But
Yes.
if they're not taking care of them, you know, I understand the need for it. I just wanna make sure that we don't just stop at,
Thank you,
we're either
yes.
gonna do it or we're not gonna do it.
So, yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, and just so you know, and I will look into that, but it is my understanding that if there is a policy for no foreclosure, it is not in writing. It is not, I think it was a motion at some point in time that says, let's not do this. And I would argue that during a COVID situation, you would not want to do that to anybody because of what the nature it is. We're through that. We're now in a new world, and I believe that, I think that I really want to try to meet you guys' expectations on bringing these neighborhoods back. And the only reason we're here is because of what the work that the task force and the police department did in order to find out where this is at. We have the hot spots in different areas. They already have 2 other areas that they're looking at. I'm not sure exactly where they're at. We won't tell you yet unless their work is done. All right. Because we don't want to let our rats know that we're coming after them as well too. But hopefully you appreciate the program. I really believe that based upon my last slide here, I think we can start to make that change. I would really like us rather than just a really broad. These crime hotspots that we are identifying are really nice to focus in on and try to reset something. We just picked this area because we had 11 ne'er-do-wells that were irritating the heck out of our community. And, but we have other crime hotspots that we will continue to address on. But I really appreciate exactly what the police department's doing. Our code enforcement's ready to go. Our community development, our health departments, everybody, public works, we're all ready to take.
Mr. Knapp, excuse me, one second, Mayor.
Yes,
Has
go
the
ahead.
meeting been extended? It has been extended, I'm making sure, thank you.
So, this is the end of my report on the Laredo Rising. There's really no action at this point in time because I'm not asking, but I wanted to make sure I took an opportunity to share this with you. Because we've been talking about this, we were preparing it toward the end of 2024. We're now ready to go. We have our area selected. Just so you know that the 4-block area is the area that we will do the most extensive stuff. but the entire neighborhood, we're gonna do the heavy trash. We're gonna do, we're gonna take in all of that area as much as we can. We're gonna try to do that area in a broader sense for the entire neighborhood's sake, for that. But I'll answer any other questions you have, and, I got my, backup here if we need this, so.
Mayor, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to commend you for taking this positive step forward. I think this is a great model, and thank you so much to the Laredo Police Department for joining in heartedly and identifying data-driven identification of these neighborhoods. I think that is the best way, that it is really where the highest need is, and this is how you transform communities. So thank you so much for taking this under, and thank you for so much for participating. I think it's gonna be a great effort.
All right.
Ricardo Gonzalez, Assistant Chief, Laredo Police Department, for the record. Following up on Mr. Knapp's presentation, this particular area, this whole program, there's a vetting process. We back it up with statistics, plan of action, and then we follow up afterwards. Not only do we want people to feel safe, we want to make sure that they are feeling safe, and that the statistics show it. This particular area, just so everybody knows, we've been dealing with it for years. So Mr. Knapp's plan is that sustainability component to it, that you bring that force multiplier. As I said earlier, we're more successful when we don't act alone. Bring in these resources and get enhancing the best of the city and the services, what it can do, and we'll see that benefit to these problematic areas in the city.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I ask?
Yes, go.
If I could ask council if we could bring up 66B1, because there is someone from the Webb County Heritage Foundation that has been waiting. I don't believe it'll take a long time.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you. Discussion with possible action to coordinate city, Public Information Office and the Convention and Visitors Bureau offices with the Webb County Heritage Foundation to amplify efforts to celebrate the city of Laredo's 270th birthday this spring and any matters incident thereto. I was hoping that if the council would vote to allow for this coordination. I think it was already happening, but perhaps if it's a directive from council, it gives it a little bit more weight and opens up perhaps some resources. I'm so excited about the 270th birthday. I think it's so important. It's a great excuse to celebrate once again the unique and historic nature of our city, and thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Andrea Ordóñez. I'm the Director of Operations of the Webb County Heritage Foundation. Thank you for having us, Mayor, City Council members, and staff. We're very excited to celebrate Laredo's 270th birthday. We're working with the CVB and other organizations to make this happen. And of course, if we can get any extra support from the city would be really great. We want to expand our celebration this year a little bit more. We want to include our plazas. We want people to feel more welcome in the downtown areas, but also where we can celebrate in the whole city as well. So we've been working with the CVB, and we have some plans to have part of the celebration in the plaza, the outlet shops, maybe involve Laredo Heat and the Tecos and other organizations. So we're looking for.
Any promos for the record? So we had a conversation also with PIO, with Parks, on the idea, as Andrea mentioned, is to involve the whole city, because this is the anniversary for the whole community. And so obviously trying to bring more people to downtown, but also involve the whole community. And so we, obviously CVB is putting resources to promote the event, but we're calculating that if we want to make it a little bit bigger, we're talking about maybe $3,000 to $5,000 in addition to what CVB and PIO are already going to provide. So that's yes.
Right. All right. Go ahead.
Mr. Neb, or Mr. Nguyen, would we be able to put some of our promotional funds towards this and I don't know if other council members would like to do that, but to be able to support these efforts and thank you so much for quantifying it, that, you know, that you've been discussing this and you already have an idea of how to leverage that cooperation and have a few more dollars to create a much bigger impact. I'm happy to participate in that. I don't know if that needs to be in a motion form, but, certainly the motion to approve of this collaboration and, well, I guess I'll stop with that as a motion to approve this collaboration.
Second that.
And then I would hope that individual council members could be approached and contribute some of the promotional funds to be able to get you to that amount. I know you can count on my support.
Okay, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your time, and we'll hope to see you there at the celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to motion to recess as the Laredo City Council and convene as the Laredo Mass Transit Board.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to approve number 65.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
63.
There is a 63, but if you want to move through your other stuff.
Yeah, I'm moving through this. We have a first and a second. We need the approval of it.
Okay. All in
We have a
favor?
motion and a second. Yeah.
Motion for, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn as the Laredo Mass Transit Board and reconvene as the Laredo City Council.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to bring up number 63.
Motion,
Second that.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 63.
All right, Mayor and City Council, this is, presentation number 2 for tonight. And, again, thank you, Mayor, City Council, thank you for your trust, thank you for everything. We hope that, I think as I cautioned you all, we're going into my 3rd year with the city. Please try to keep up. No. I'll try to keep up with you still anyway. But, just thank you for allowing me to share the year-end city manager report. And I've done this every year. I've been here that after we've gotten done with the conversation, I want to share with the public as well all the information that you've had. This report reflects our progress over the last year and the vision guiding us into 2025. As we enter the 3rd year of our strategic implementation plan, our focus is on execution, turning well-developed strategies into measurable results that benefit our residents, our businesses, and our community as a whole. Tonight, I will outline the core management vision, shaping our approach, structured around 5 key priorities. Operational excellence, ensuring city departments function efficiently to deliver high-quality services. Fiscal responsibility, managing resources wisely to sustain long-term investments. Infrastructure development, strengthening roads, utilities, and essential services to support economic growth. Data-driven decision-making, leveraging analytics to enhance service delivery and policy effectiveness. Community engagement, strengthening transparency and collaboration with our residents and stakeholders. To track our project and ensure accountability, we have structured our work into 9 core management categories, covering governance, public safety, infrastructure, economic development, environmental sustainability, and community services. These categories will help translate our priorities into clear, actionable initiatives that drive meaningful change for Laredo. Tonight, I'm hoping to discuss these priorities and categories very quickly for you, for your time's sake, and align our achievements in 2024, set the foundation for continued success in 25. Through reasonable planning, innovation, and collaboration, we are building a resilient, well-managed city that meets the needs of our people today and in the future. And I want to start with thanking you for your time and dedication to the city of Laredo. And if I can get this to change, there we go. Laredo is committed to delivering high-quality services, strengthening infrastructure, and fostering economic sustainability. As we enter the 3rd year of our strategic implementation plan, our focus is on execution, efficiency, and excellence. Today, we will discuss the guiding principles shaping the management strategy and how they align with our city's progress. Operational efficiency is the foundation of a strong city management. In 2024, we introduced a standardized classification compensation system to improve hiring, promotions, and leadership development. We've also developed standard operating procedures across all of our departments to enhance service consistency and responsiveness. Moving forward, our priority is implementing these foundational systems while ensuring our workforce is well-trained and equipped to meet the community's evolving needs. Sustainable financial management is key to Laredo's long-term success. In 2024, we finalized the classification compensation framework. We restructured financial oversight processes, and we secured grants to maximize funding opportunities. Our approach prioritizes cost-effective investments in infrastructure and services while avoiding delays that lead to increased costs in the future. As we enter 2025, we remain committed to strategic financial planning that ensures stability and adaptability amid economic shifts. These concepts and discussions will be recognizable in our budget meetings and bond referendum discussions as we move forward. As a major trade hub, Laredo must maintain efficient infrastructure and public services. Our utility department is being restructured. That restructuring will improve water and wastewater management, and while stormwater responsibilities are transitioning to the utility department for enhanced oversight. Additionally, we will be expanding environmental sustainability efforts, including the Laredo Water Resource Goals, which focus on long-term water supply reliability. These initiatives ensure that we will remain resilient in both economic and environmental challenges. Data and best practice guide our decisions. In 2024, we began introducing performance tracking dashboards to enhance our project oversight and departmental efficiency surveys to assess the strengths and areas of improvement. We are also modernizing our zoning and development codes through the Recode Laredo initiative, ensuring that our land use policies align with contemporary urban planning principles. We are creating a more responsive and efficient city government by leveraging technology and the analytics. Effective governance requires collaboration at all levels. The city increased its efforts with town hall meetings and outreach from all of our departments. In 2025, we are expanding the town hall meetings farther to include hybrid participation, multilingual content, and live polling. There are two major surveys going out this year to our citizens. The one is the budget survey, which will be going out here in the month of March, which will help us with our budgeting process, and the departmental service survey, which will be implemented as well too. And that'll be going out very soon to know which departments that our citizens appreciate and which ones we need to do better at. We will continue to focus on transparency and inclusivity, ensuring all residents, businesses, and stakeholders are engaged in shaping Laredo's future. Our commitment to Laredo remains strong, and we provide high-quality services, support economic vitality, and invest in infrastructure for long-term stability. As we move into 2025, we focus on executing strategic plans, improving efficiency, and maintaining accountability. Through reasonable planning and strong leadership, we will continue making measurable improvements that enhance the quality of life for all of our residents. This vision reflects the priorities outlined in our year-end City Manager Report 2024 and provides a clear roadmap for sustainable government. It works because it is neutral and nonpartisan. It's grounded and focused on strong operations, designed to encourage workforce development, sustainability, and economic resilience. It is flexible enough to accommodate the evolving city needs while maintaining continuity in governance. It's focused on community engagement, transparency, and innovation to strengthen the public trust. By embracing these principles, Laredo is well positioned for long-term success and continued prosperity. Attracting and retaining top talent is essential for strong city operations. In 2024, we launched a director salary study to align our pay structures with industry standards and finalized a comprehensive training matrix requiring all of our employees to complete 60 hours of training annually. All of them, 2,700 employees all the way through there. We believe that they are required to have 60 hours of training every year. We believe that's what's going to create our leaders of tomorrow. We're also prioritizing recruitment efforts for key leadership positions, including the utility director, solid waste director, and the assistant building director, to ensure strong leadership in these critical departments. The year-end city manager's report has outlined the progress we've made and the guiding principles shaping our approach: operational excellence, fiscal responsibility, infrastructure investment, data-driven decision-making, and community engagement. A critical part of this vision is ensuring that Laredo's infrastructure and services keep pace with the growth, the economic shifts, and the evolving needs of our community. While we focus on operational improvements and strategic planning, some long-term investments require dedicated funding mechanisms. Cities often consider various funding approaches, including state and federal grants, public-private partnerships, general fund allocations, and in some cases, bond referendums. A bond referendum is one option that some cities use to finance major infrastructure projects, allowing them to fund improvements over time without relying solely on annual budget allocations. However, economic conditions, trade policies, and inflationary pressures all factor into how and when cities invest in large-scale public projects. In the final portion of this presentation, we will objectively review the key economic considerations that impact long-term infrastructure and service decisions. The city manager's vision prioritizes responsible planning, fiscal sustainability, and strategic investment, all of which will play a role in how infrastructure funding decisions are evaluated. While this discussion will provide objective, fact-based context, the decision on how to move forward ultimately rests with our voters of Laredo now for the bond referendum. The next section is intended to provide a neutral, informative framework for understanding the relationship between economic conditions, infrastructure planning, and public funding mechanisms. It does not advocate for or against any specific action, but rather ensures that all considerations are thoughtfully examined. As city manager, I ensure that Laredo's infrastructure and public services remain strong, resilient, and capable of supporting long-term growth. This requires a strategic, forward-thinking approach that balances the economic conditions, the fiscal responsibility, and the community needs. Cities must take a proactive approach to infrastructure planning. Growth, demographic shifts, and evolving service demands require us to continuously assess where and how we invest in roads, utilities, public facilities, and emergency services to ensure long-term stability. While economic cycles and trade policies may shift, the need for strong public safety, the reliable infrastructure, and essential city services remains constant. Despite external economic influences, cities must maintain their core functions to support the residences and the businesses. Strategic infrastructure investments are more than just expenditures. They catalyze job creation and economic stability. While well-maintained roads, water systems, and public facilities not only enhance the quality of life, but they also attract businesses and support long-term economic growth. As Laredo grows, we must carefully weigh the economic conditions, the infrastructure needs, and the fiscal responsibility, and follow data-driven decision-making to keep us sustainable and make sure that those beneficial investments are there for future generations. Economic cycles may rise and fall, but the need for strong infrastructure and essential city services remains constant. Regardless of external factors, city must ensure that roads, the utilities, the emergency services continue to support residences and businesses effectively. Because infrastructure investments take years to plan, fund, and complete, cities often take a long-term view, making decisions that will serve their communities beyond short-term economic fluctuations. Investing in infrastructure and maintaining reliable city services strengthens the city's ability to adapt to economic shifts. A strong foundation in transportation, utilities, and public services ensures that Laredo remains competitive and resilient, regardless of the changing economic conditions. Inflation affects the cost of construction materials, equipment, and labor, significantly impacting the total cost of infrastructure projects. As costs rise over time, cities must consider these variables when planning long-term investments. Deferring infrastructure projects may seem like a short-term cost-saving measure, but in many cases, waiting can result in significantly higher expenses due to inflation, supply chain disruptions, or increased demand for materials and labor. Cities often assess whether acting sooner can prevent cost escalation. A multi-year financial outlook allows the cities to anticipate cost trends, explore different funding strategies, and align those investments with economic conditions. This approach helps ensure that infrastructure projects remain financially sustainable and responsive to the community needs over time. Really quickly, as one of the busiest land ports in the United States, Laredo is a central hub for international trade. Cross-border commerce has consistently been a key driver for economic activity, supporting local businesses, jobs, and revenue generation. The trade policies and tariffs will influence the supply chains, but businesses adapt by adjusting the logistics, sourcing strategies, and production locations. Cities like Laredo support this adaptability by maintaining efficient trade infrastructure and customs processes. Investments in roads, bridges, and public services strengthens the city's ability to manage growing trade volumes and economic activity. Well-maintained infrastructure ensures businesses can move goods efficiently, making cities more competitive globally. While external economic conditions and policies can create uncertainty, cities must still plan for infrastructure and services that support long-term community needs. Strategic planning allows the cities to adapt while maintaining essential services. The cities prioritize infrastructure projects based upon factors such as population growth, service demands, and financial sustainability. Careful evaluation ensures that investments provide long-term value while aligning with project constraints. By maintaining efficient operations and planning ahead, cities can better withstand the economic uncertainties. Proactive investment strategies allow for continued growth and service delivery even during these challenging financial periods.
Mayor, if I may. Mr.
Yes, go
Mayor,
ahead.
hold on. I have an item and I see the officers here. I don't know if they were gonna comment on my item.
I will,
Yes.
I'll
And I didn't get to, go over it, last
if you'd like,
time.
I'll wrap it up and be done.
Yes.
And that way we can get to those other things. My point with what I'm trying to share within this presentation is that I wanted to show how the bond referendum ties in, all the conversation about the bond referendum ties into our vision that if we take care of our house first, if we take care of our services, we take care of all of that, that is what is going to help our catalyst serve with the public as well too. If we're not doing that work right, then we're gonna struggle with that. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I wanted to make sure you had that presentation, but I understand for the time and everything. But thank you for your time. Look forward to further conversations. We are scheduling our town hall meetings for the bond referendum as well too. But I wanted to make sure I shared my viewpoints because I have not done that yet, and I wanted to share my viewpoints on where we're headed. So, thank you.
I know we're rushed on time. I just want to say thank you for the presentation, and I hope you share that with all the other people in the community that probably need to see it that aren't seeing it at 10:53 p.m.
Yeah, I will tell you that we are working on our outreach campaign. I'm not going to call it a marketing campaign. It's an outreach campaign to explain what we are asking about and why we're doing the bond referendum and everything. That is coming forward, and we are going to share pieces of this throughout the entire process. So just wanted to make sure you knew that I do have a position.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Knapp.
there it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Mayor, if I
Yes, go
can
ahead.
make a motion to bring up item 66D1,
Second.
Motion second.
And C1.
And C1, you want to amend that?
and C1 after,
I'll accept the amendment.
Okay, amendment, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes.
my item is discussion with possible action regarding improvements to Riverbank Drive, including status on improved sidewalks, signage, and street parking with modifications to relevant fine schedules and any other matters incident thereto. So we're not gonna probably get to explore this item in depth, but, I think one of the main issues, and I think the reason why PD's here is that, and it's not just Riverbank, I know it affects other industrial areas as well. You have 18-wheelers, sleeping, parked on the side of the road all night, waiting to get into their, drop off or whatever in the morning. It's causing enforcement issues for us. I think we need to modify our enforcement, or I don't know what they need from us. Mayor, if I can give,
Yes.
him the floor.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Mayor, distinguished members of council, Ricardo Gonzalez, Assistant Chief for the record. So yes, obviously living in Laredo with a high amount of large commercial vehicles creates a problem. A lot of these are visitors that come to our city. They might come in early and they're idling throughout the city, especially these areas of town. So it does create a problem. Usually when they're encroaching into residential areas, such as what you have on Riverbank, that's what, where we get those complaints and so forth. And obviously there's other problems in the area. So yes, one of the enforcement efforts is to the punishment, right? But we're out there continuously. Obviously that little stretch of road creates a lot of problems throughout the day for various reasons. And I'm here to provide any information that you may need on that particular area.
Mayor, I think the main thing is, I believe the fine for parking overnight is like $20, I believe, and
No, and I don't have the number with me, but that it's a little bit higher for vehicles, but I can get that information for you. I apologize for that.
but if they're not, like, it's hard for us to, like, they'll just take the ticket and they won't pay it, or they'll just, it's an enforcement issue. It becomes a concern with officers having to knock on their vehicle and ask them to move. They block the street a lot, especially Monday mornings, and so we do have some planned, improvements to that area. I think the thing I'd like for council to support tonight is to give management, the ability with, PD to come up with a proper fine schedule, enforcement schedule, so that we can, add a little bit more teeth to our, enforcement, and hopefully, deter some of this. Also, the part of my item talks about crosswalks and signage. I'd like to bring that on the next agenda for an update on those as well, because there's 2 middle schools around there, and we need crosswalks and all these improvements.
Yeah, so there's a conversation about that, council member, that we can talk or speak very in general terms right now, or have ready for the next discussion. But yes, a long-term solution that is gonna take some involvement from management engineering.
I'd like to put it on the next meeting, to have an update and bring it up so we can discuss it, and then, if council will entertain a motion to, give management and PD the ability to come up with, beefed up enforcement policy. So that's what I'm looking for tonight.
Great.
Thank
Motion, I'm sorry, motion. You
Go
have
ahead.
Motion second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
And if I may, it's a $200 fine.
Okay, thank you. Item 66C1?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So this is just a directive to management to move forward with talks with Divine Mercy and in the Diocese of Laredo regarding overflow parking that will be potentially made available to the public. We're also adding 50 parking spaces.
Is that your motion?
Ourselves, but just the directive is to move forward with discussions to either add a new MOU or amend the current MOU for more parking for public use.
Motion, is there a second? Just make sure that they bring it to us before it's finalized.
Yes, to bring back.
Okay, motion second, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on, before, just make sure all the pending items make it onto the next agenda.
Forward.
We have a motion to adjourn.
66D2 that you wanted?
No, we don't have time. Motion to adjourn, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn, thank you. Meeting's adjourned.